Well, hello again, baseball fans, and welcome back to Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. I'm Kyle Hoehne, and we are getting ready for NCAA Division III National Championship Tournament baseball action between the Lynchburg Hornets, 37-15 this season, and winners of 12 in a row, and that's an incredible postseason run. And these Misericordia Cougars. We will get set and give you a little bit more of a legitimate pregame show here in just a minute, but we wanted to come on a little bit early and hang out with you and show you some of the interviews from the first two games here in East Lake, Ohio. Lynchburg is winners of 2 in a row, of course. Lynchburg beat Endicott 7-2 on day one of this tournament. That was back on Friday, the final day of May. Endicott was the number one team in the nation and the number one seed coming into this tournament. That didn't matter as Lynchburg took down the Gulls 7-2, and then Lynchburg beat Misericordia 6-2 on Saturday. So it's a rematch today, and we will discuss that and all the other things going on here this morning. Yes, a little brunch and baseball situation as we are not in the National Championship Series yet, but Lynchburg will need to win one of two today to get to that National Championship Series. So we'll talk much more about that and everything else happening this postseason and everything we expect to happen today. But we'll, as I said, share some fun little video clips for you here, and you'll get to hear from some of the guys and head coach Travis Beasley as well. So stick around, and you will be watching and listening to the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Our action today is brought to you by Chaniga MIOS.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Looks on to get the sign from Sean Pokerot. Runner on first, 1-2, 2 outs. Here it comes, and he got him. Another strikeout for Wesley Arrington. He Ks 12 in another complete game performance. The Sheriff has done it again, fans. Just when you think Lynchburg can't get any more,
from Wesley Arrington. He delivers another postseason gem.
Well, Coach, welcome to the Game 2 press conference. Lynchburg 7-2 winner over Edincock. Coach Travis Beasley joining us. We have Brandon Garcia and pitcher Wesley Arrington. And then who was our mystery man?
Oh, Kelly McWilliams.
Kelly McWilliams. So welcome, Coach. Have an opening statement for the group, and I'll print off that name tag for me.
Yeah, great game. Obviously, they're an incredibly talented group coming in here. I think, what were they, 46-2. We knew it was going to be a challenge, but I think we knew we had a shot with Wes Arrington on the mound. I think it's last 36 innings possible for him to pitch. He's done 35. We got a shot. And he battled. They hit some balls hard. Obviously, it's a really tough lineup. We made a couple really, really elite defensive plays earlier in the game that gave us a chance to kind of expand. And then Wes just with 2 huge strikeouts in the 8th against 2 really, really good, talented hitters, and we were able to hold on. But great baseball game.
Coach, how big was the early run lead to get up 4-0 early on?
Yeah, huge, especially with that lefty. We knew Gottsman was, he's an elite pitcher. Fortunately for us, I think our road here was challenging, was difficult. We faced 2 really, really talented lefties along the way. Case Western had a freshman lefty. Laverne had a freshman lefty. So I think while they're a little bit different, and the young man today, I believe he's an All-American, he's really, really, really good. But I think that prepared us. I think we came in, we didn't have to do a whole lot different than what we've done the last 2 weeks. Guys competed, had a couple really good at-bats, and were able to capitalize. And, then beyond that, it's about putting pressure on them and trying to just tack on 1 or 2. And, again, with Wes on the mound, we know we don't have to go out there and put up a huge number. He's going to compete. He's going to give us a chance.
You talked about the path you took to get here. You also had the last man standing last year. Is there something that goes along with that these guys expected? They see number 8 next to their name, but they don't feel like they're the 8?
No, they don't. And we talked about that. We're happy to be here. Whatever edge we can play with, so be it. But we really don't need the edge, truly. It's hard to explain. And when people ask me, I know we sat in a meeting last year. I mainly worked with the pitchers and talked with the pitchers. And it was man, our goal as a coaching staff is to stay out of your way this week. And as a the coaching staff this year is no different. These guys somehow know how to perform, relax with confidence in the biggest stage, and they've played their best baseball all year, the last 4 weeks, the last 11 games, when it's supposed to matter the most. And that's not from us, that's them. That's them playing with confidence and, belief that they've learned the last 2 years.
Wesley, can you talk about that jam in the 8th inning? Obviously you're at a bases loaded spot, and then you kind of bear down and get those last 2 guys striking out.
Yeah, kind of start off the inning pretty quick. Next, I look up and there's 2 runners on. But they're just trying to attack early, and they put some good swings on. And then when they got down to it, it's just staying focused and relaxed, just making my pitches, and it worked out. So.
I was going to say, it didn't seem like you got super emotional at any point in the game when I was watching you at the end of pitches. Am I missing? Are you hiding that? Am I missing it?
No, I try and keep it within I think I pitch the best when I'm the most relaxed. And I've been in situations like that before, so I know that I can get out of it. And so it's just about executing and not letting it, not letting the moment get too big. And just, putting everything into one pitch at a time.
We've got kind of the defensive backbone right here, right behind you too. Can I get either Brandon or O'Kelly to talk about what it's like playing behind him when he's going, especially when he's striking out 12 guys and giving you guys a bit of a break?
Yeah, when a guy's pitching his butt off, you want to do anything to back him up. I think we all have the mindset that any of the guys who are on that mound, we want to do anything we can for them. It's a little easier when a guy has 12 punches, but yeah, it's just about doing everything we can to back him up. We know he has our back on the mound, and it's just about going out there and fighting for him. So.
Yeah. Was there anything to add?
I'll say just being able to ditto to what he said. He's a great pitcher all on his own, so when we're out there helping him and getting extra outs and making plays, it's just less for the offense to work with, and that just creates a really tough matchup for the other offense.
Wesley, your coach talked about the run you're on right now. 35 of the last 36 innings, you've just been a bulldog. What's it been like? I mean, have you ever been locked in on any level like you've been locked in right now?
No, not at all. It's just, I don't know. I just look up and it's the 6th. I'm like, I got a shot to finish this game, and like that's, that's the goal. It's just to pitch as long as I can, and it just, happened that it's been a couple starts in a row where I'm able to pitch in the 8th and 9th.
When you're throwing 139 pitches, I think you had 132 pitches today, and you did limp down the stretch. I mean, you struck out 5 for the last 6 batters. Did you get stronger as the game went on?
Yeah, I definitely think my stuff got better as the game went on. And the 6th or the 7th inning in that jam, like I think just striking those 2 guys out, it really just kind of propelled me and just got my adrenaline going a little bit more. Taking my mind off of being tired and just pitching. So,
can I ask you to be a little more specific about what kind of stuff is working better when you're tired, maybe?
I mean, today, like, the slider just got better at the end of the game. Yeah, that was pretty much it today.
Coach, have you ever seen anything like this before? I mean, a dominating stretch, 35 or 36 innings, where he's just punching people out.
He was close last year when we were in Cedar Rapids, with CG out there, and then getting the last 5 outs in the championship series against Johns Hopkins. But, in contrast, he's talking about the 6th, looking up and got a chance to finish the game. As a coaching staff, we're looking up in the first inning in the game. He starts, hey, I got a chance to finish the game. So it's a testament to him, the work. It's been a heavy workload the last 4 weeks for him, no doubt. But the work that he puts in and has put in for 5 years, prepares him. And the conversation after the 7th and after the 8th, like he's earned that right to have that conversation and make that decision. We have complete trust in him, as to, hey, what do you got left? And he wanted the ball. And, credit to Mike Solbach, our pitching coach. Mike's helped me the last 7 years, and, he's taken over way more of a responsibility this year. Pretty much calling every pitch, and I just try to chime in here and there. But they have a great working relationship, and it's been a whole heck of a lot of fun to watch. And again, we're just trying to stay out of Wes's way and enjoy it. Days like today, you feel more like a fan than a coach.
For O'Kelly and Brandon, you guys, of course, wrap around number 9, number 1, right? A big part of the offense today. What were you guys seeing that was working? That sort of thing. What were kind of pitches you were getting and hitting today?
I can take it.
All right.
I got you. I'd say most of the time everything starts with us. We want to stay disciplined, stay within our zone, and hit our pitches. And every time we have a conversation, he's always like, "Hey, just pass the baton. It starts with us. You do it, and then I'll do it." And we just try and keep our roles as simple as possible and make it easy for the guys behind us.
Yeah, I mean, the dude they had on the mound's really good. He's a really good pitcher. We knew that coming in, and I think. OG gave us a really good game plan that we just had to compete, find any way on. It's really hard to, we put up 10 hits today, and, on that pitching staff, it's, pretty good. They have a lot of good arms, and it's just finding ways to get on. And then once we have guys on, just putting pressure on them anyway, taking advantage of a couple mistakes. But, it's just really competing up there and making them work. So.
You talk about competing, Brandon. When you come into this game and you see that they're the 46-2 team, they're the ones who's the favorite, is there a motivation that goes along with that to say, hey, don't forget about us, we still have the banner?
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's no doubt. We don't really care about, the seeding that much. We're here, and that's really all that matters. Whoever we face, we're ready to go. But there's no doubt that 8 next to our name gives us a little motivation. But they're a really good team. You have to be motivated at any team you play. This time of year, they're all going to be really good. But there's no doubt there's a little extra motivation behind it for sure.
Coach, can I ask just getting a complete game performance today, how this helps set you up for the rest of the tournament pitching wise?
Yeah, I guess it was our blueprint last year. We had 3 in a row last year, so and that's a big part of the reason why we've kept advancing. When you can look up and get to day 2. And have a fresh bullpen. I mean, they got a couple guys hot, so a couple guys close, but to look up and those guys not have to throw one inning, going into game 2, that's huge. I think this run started with Wes's no-hitter 4 weeks ago, and we just kind of built off that, and Our pitching staff, we've been ups and downs, a little inconsistent this year, but not the last 4 weeks. And I think a lot of that is just seeing what West does and trying to, maybe not top it. It'd be hard to do, but certainly build off that and take that same confidence out there, each guy that West takes out there.
Any more questions, anybody?
I want just for any of you, how important is it to sort of stay even-keeled throughout this whole World Series? The obviously defending champions take down the #1 seed today. Going into the rest of the weekend and the rest of the World Series, how important is it to sort of leave today in the past and focus on tomorrow and the next opponent to come?
I think it's really big. Obviously, the experience that we had last year, no doubt, is a big-time help to have that mindset. Bees talks about it a lot, the shower rule. Once you take that shower, you forget about what just happened, you move on to the next day. But it is, I think, big-time help to have last year in our back pocket. Help out the new guys for sure. But yeah, an even kill mindset, kind of like Wes talked about for him personally, but for us as a team, we play best when we're relaxed and kind of just, playing our game. And it's just one game at a time. It was a great win today against, really, really good team. It's definitely a big-time win to set us up, but we know we're not done yet. We came here for, 5 or 6 wins? That's just one, so.
Hits .278 on the season. McGuire, right-handed first-year man, kicks and deals. His ball's put in play. O'Kelly McWilliams on the move, on the dive and the grab. He actually stayed on his feet to make a running catch right at the shoestrings. O'Kelly McWilliams is hunting that ball again, and Lynchburg is hunting another national championship. This Vibes Train Express is rolling again, making 12.
We'll start with an opening statement from Coach and then open it up for questions.
Yeah, another tough game. We knew it was going to be a tough matchup with that young man on the mound. Again, incredibly talented player, hitter and pitcher. He had a great mix going early with that breaking ball. Did a great job mixing in the fastball. But again, I thought Coach Garcia and our hitters had a good plan, competitive, working hard to get on base, try to stay aggressive, move guys up. And we were able to capitalize on some situations, big third inning. And then, beyond that, we're just, honestly playing for 1 run an inning. And if we can get more, then great. But how Nick was pitching, again, another great start. It's kind of old hat with these guys at this point. Like, we've seen it so many times, especially at this level. Like I mentioned yesterday, it's one good outing building on another. And I'm sure Nick took a lot of confidence away from what Wes did yesterday and probably sat there and in his own way, thought he could probably do a little bit better. So, tip of the cap to Nick. Great start. Almost finished it. Eddie almost caught that ball. That would have been pretty cool for another CG, but that was a huge outing. Gave us a great chance, and we're excited to be moving forward and a day off for sure.
Coach Dylan Feldovich, D3Baseball.com. You guys had a lot of success with the bat so far in this tournament, obviously scoring 7 in the first game and now scoring 6 in this. Can you kind of walk me through the process of going into the tournament and what your mentality was with helping out with the bats?
Yeah, I think our offense, quite frankly, is sometimes underestimated. I mean, there's times this year, where our offense carried us. Our regular season record, obviously not as good as last year. But I think just given what we've done in the postseason the last 2 years, everybody thinks pitching and defense with us. But our offense is pretty good. And they showed it the last 2 games. Not a lot of flash, but just a lot of confidence, competitive ABs, and then just trying to inflict a little bit of pressure. And again, today I thought it was just a good plan. We knew it was going to be tough. That young man is a great pitcher, great baseball player. And it was some tough ABs early. We were just able to crack them and just kind of put a little bit of pressure on them. Credit to the guys.
And then Quinn also too, huge third inning, like we said before, and you were the one that knocked in 2 runs there. So walk me through your approach that kind of changed from the first inning into that inning as well and helped you lead to that.
So that guy's entire, first time through the lineup, he was really relying heavily on that off speed. So as Coach Beasley came in and said, he's like, hey, there's going to be some point in time where we need to start sitting off speed. And so I kind of internalized that, assumed that, he got me out the off speed the first time around, that I was going to get it first pitch. And I got it first pitch and was ready for it.
Pat Coleman, D3Baseball.com. But so did you just want to call Coach Beasley the Bees for the team that's named the Hornets? Is that right?
Well, I'm not sure I'm supposed to share this, but he hates being called Coach, so we call him Bees.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you. For Nick, you came off the field looking dejected, looking down. For a guy who, entered the ninth with a 3-hit shutout, right? I know you really wanted to finish that game. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's exactly like you said. I just really wanted to finish that game. I mean, I wasn't upset with how I pitched. It's just that 1 out away and being so close, it really, stunk. I couldn't finish it.
What was working for you today?
I think all my pitches, like my fastball, my slider, my curveball, I had really good command of them, especially early on in the counts. I was able to get ahead with them, and I think I was able to keep them off balance with each one.
Gavin, this is Jim Dixon with D3Base.com. Gavin, you're part of a pretty good infield. Talk about the pride that the Hornets take in their infield play, particularly.
We've known for the last 2 years that we're pretty strong defensively. We take a lot of reps, and we trust each other every single day to roll the double plays, to go make the plays that not a lot of other teams can make. So just walking around with that swagger and that confidence just helps us out a lot.
Nick, what's it like to have that? Obviously, pitching in front of that, having that behind you is a big deal.
Oh, it definitely makes it a lot easier. Like knowing that guys behind me are going to make plays for me. It just takes some weight off my shoulders.
Any other questions?
And what do you guys do with your day off?
We're going to enjoy it. I definitely want to give a shout out to our supporters today, man. It was, we had a great crowd last year at Cedar Rapids, a little bit closer to home today. You feel it. You definitely feel it. And I think it's a huge advantage for us, not only to have our entire roster here. We're incredibly fortunate to have that, and the guys bring in the energy in the stands. And I think we got a little shout out last year for that, some articles, and but also parents, alums, former players. Avery Neves, who had a monster year for the College of Charleston this year, was in the stands, and that's a pretty cool thing. So definitely want to just thank everybody that was here, and thank everybody that wasn't here but's following us back home. It's a huge advantage for our players, and our players feel it. They feel that energy, and I think they try to, elevate their level to match that energy that's in the stands. So definitely want to thank everybody for coming out.
Batting sixth and playing first base, number 8, Jason Santelmo. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 38, Andrew.
Hello again, baseball fans, and welcome back to Eastlake, Ohio. We are getting set for NCAA Division III National Championship Tournament action between the Lynchburg Hornets and the Misericordia Cougars. Hello again, baseball fans. I'm Kyle Hoehne, and this is a rematch of just a few days ago when Lynchburg beat Misericordia 6-2 to put the Hornets in the driver's seat of Bracket 1 in this D3 World Series. 1 win away from a spot in the best 2 out of 3 championship series. Same place Lynchburg was last year when they won their 2023 national championship. The Lynchburg locomotive, that is, the Vibes Train Express, has been in the driver's seat for basically the entirety of this postseason run. They're undefeated at 12-0 in postseason play. It's a playoff run that started back in early May in the opening round of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference tournament. And confidence is at an all-time high for Lynchburg. The vibes are at an all-time high. The boys from Lakeside Drive were the number 4 seed in the ODAC tournament. That didn't matter. They were the number 3 seed on the road at the Cleveland Regional 2 weeks ago. No problem. They went in there and took down the home team Case Western Reserve a couple times. Lynchburg went all the way to California. A little barnstorming, a little coast-to-coast baseball. They beat a quality Laverne team 2-0. And when you combine those facts with the fact that Lynchburg is the national champion, the defending national champs from last year, why wouldn't they be full of confidence? They truly are operating at a higher vibration, a higher wavelength for this Lynchburg team right now. Performances in this postseason individually will go into legend and lore and legacy on Lakeside Drive. Most recently, it was Nick Matfield on the mound. Matfield's masterpiece, Magic Matfield. He twirled a gem, 8 2/3 innings, and beat Misericordia. Really kept a good Cougar offense in check. The team offense was sparked by proven pressure players, Brandon Garcia, Ben Jones, and then the key additions like Quinn Madden, O'Kelly McWilliams, among others, have just fit right in, and they've been performing well here in Eastlake. So it is a team that, again, vibes and confidence are at an all-time high. But it's baseball. There's always another game. Sometimes what you did in the past doesn't matter. Lynchburg knows they will be put to the test again against a Misericordia team that will be playing with their season on the line. We'll pause for the national anthem and tell you more about the situation. We'll set the stage and get ready for first pitch between Misericordia and Lynchburg. It's coming up next. You'll hear all the action live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Our broadcast brought to you today by Chiniga MIOS. Brunch and baseball here from East Lake, Ohio. We are outside the city of Cleveland, but nearby, just a couple long fly balls away from Lake Erie. My name is Kyle Hoehne, and we are so excited to be talking to you on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. first pitch here in what will be Game 11 of the tournament. It's Game 2 for Lynchburg. They are in the driver's seat after beating Endicott on day 1, 7-2. They beat this Misericordia squad they're getting ready to rematch against on day 2, Saturday. That was a 6-2 Lynchburg victory. So the run for Misericordia looks like this. They beat Pomona Pitzer day 1, 6-3. Lost to Lynchburg, obviously. And then they defeated Endicott 7-6. That was a game where Misericordia was down 6-2 in the 4th inning yesterday, but really stormed back. They beat Endicott 12-4. I beg your pardon, fans. Misericordia won 12-4 yesterday, and actually the highest scoring outburst of the tournament, those 12 runs put up by the Cougars. So their offense is getting going. It was a 12-4 victory yesterday. That was an 11 a.m. game yesterday here at Classic Park. It was well attended, and we think even though it's 10 a.m. on a Monday morning, we'll have a good crowd here again today. So it's game 4 in the tournament for Misericordia. It's just game 3 in the tournament for Lynchburg. Lynchburg will send their talented first-year man to the mound. It's Colin McGuire. McGuire is from Cross Junction, Virginia. He has a mix of starts and relief appearances this season. We'll run that down for you in just a bit. More than capable of keeping any offense in check, although it will be a tall order today with Misericordia, a team that can really bang it around the ballpark. For Lynchburg defensively, Sean Pokerock will be doing the catching. He had a 2-hit day on day 1 in this tournament against Endicott. Sean Pokerock did not play the first time Misericordia and Lynchburg met a couple days ago. Around the infield at first base, Eric Hyatt. Ben Jones plays second. Sophomore shortstop Brandon Garcia. Hollywood is set and ready to go. The senior Gavin Collins will occupy the hot corner. In the outfield, same configuration there for Lynchburg. Eddie Gimble in left, O'Kelly McWilliams in center, and Quinn Madden in right. Lynchburg coached by Travis Beasley in his first season in what you have to call the most seamless coaching change in history, taking over as the head man for his great friend Lucas Jones. Coach Jones is now, of course, the associate head coach. For Misericordia, line up a little bit different from the first time that we saw him a couple days ago. Cougars are 40-10 this season. They are now 11-1 in postseason play. That lone loss in their postseason run coming to Lynchburg a couple days ago. For Misericordia, it'll be fifth-year star Garrett McElhaney playing right field and leading it off for the Cougars. He had a home run yesterday in their elimination win over Endicott. Endicott's season is done again, 0-2 back-to-back seasons, getting to the College World Series level. And in fact, Endicott, Lynchburg, and Misericordia are the 3 teams that reached this stage last year and are back again this season. But now we're down to 4, and just 2 in bracket 1, the upper pod here at Classic Park. Colin McGuire will work from the windup. It's an overcast day here in Northeast Ohio. Temperatures hovering right around 60 right now with a little light breeze. There's strike 1. Great pitch from Colin McGuire to get the action underway. It'll be McElhaney, Regine, Bollinger, Marinac, Commons, Sanfilippo, Van Horn. That'll be a new face. He pinch hit against Lynchburg, but Andrew Van Horn will bat 7th. Gabe Bunn, the second baseman, in 8th, and Owen Cordner, third baseman, rounding out the lineup for Misericordia. Early 0-2 count as McElhaney flares at one and pushes it into the netting. Here it comes from McGuire. Same result, fouled off left side. Lynchburg is in the first base side dugout wearing home reds with the black hat, red trim, white pants, and Lynchburg is the home team. Lynchburg needs only win 1 of 2 today. Same scenario Lynchburg fans have become accustomed to. Routine ground ball to shortstop. Brandon Garcia had to hustle just a little bit to get the speedy Garrett McElhaney, but that is the first out of the game recorded there on a ground ball to short. It'll bring up Jack Regine. He's the center fielder, junior for the Cougars. It is an elimination game for Misericordia. It is not an elimination game for Lynchburg. And this is the 4th time that scenario has played out for Lynchburg. At every stage of the postseason, Lynchburg has been in one of these, what they call a closeout game. Base hit bunt attempt. Gavin Collins, little grab and go. He got him. Nice play there by Gavin Collins, one of the best at throwing on the run. The third baseman read the bunt nicely. It was not quite on the line like you prefer a base hit bunt, and Gavin Collins swooped in and took advantage of that. 1 pitch, 1 out that time around for Colin McGuire. Fast start for the freshman from Cross Junction, Virginia, just outside Winchester. But yeah, Lynchburg is 4-0 in closeout games this season, meaning they have eliminated 4 teams. Here's the first pitch from McGuire to Bollinger, called strike 1. Lynchburg won the first game against Bridgewater in the ODAC opening round, so they got in this situation where Bridgewater had to win 1 to force the if-necessary game. They did not. Lynchburg with a 2-0 sweep there. In the ODAC tournament Final Four, Lynchburg beat Roanoke on the championship day. That was a game where Roanoke needed to win 2. Lynchburg needed 1. Lynchburg got the 1. Same scenario the next weekend against Case Western Reserve. And then Lynchburg did the same thing, a 2-0 sweep against the Laverne Leopards in California. So Lynchburg is perfect in these situations when they have a game to play with. They actually were not perfect in these situations last year. Lynchburg did have to play some elimination games last year in the championship run. 1-2 delivery coming up from Colin McGuire. It's in the dirt. Good stop by Sean Pokerock, but Bollinger did not offer. And now it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. It's the top of the first inning. We are here at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. Great setting, minor league ballpark, 330 down the lines, 400 to dead center. Power alleys go at 360 to 370. The 2-2 tapped foul to the left side, and we'll try it again at 2-2 with 2 outs. The hitter is number 27, junior catcher Brock Bollinger. Believe he has done all the catching in the tournament for these Misericordia Cougars. McGuire working from the windup. Defense straight away, although the first baseman, Eric Hyatt, is well off the line. Here's the pitch. Airborne, right side. Quinn Madden calling for it. Arms extended. He sees it, and it's a 3-up, 3-down, top of the first inning. Lynchburg will head to the bottom half. Hornets offense could get cranked up early. They've done that a few times in this tournament. We'll recap that and set the Lynchburg batting order. Tell you more about the Misericordia starting pitcher. It's the closer coming out for the Cougars. That's all that and more when we return from a brief break. It's the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Three up, 3 down for Lynchburg defensively as Colin McGuire started all 3 hitters with a first pitch strike. Early indications are good for Lynchburg. The early start time not bothering the Hornets, and we'll see if it bothers anybody today. I always think that sometimes as the broadcasters, we make too much of those early start times, and sometimes it'll get brought up in conversation about, it's not right to be playing an NCAA tournament game at 10 in the morning, but you have a potential for 4 games today. The other bracket will feature Salve Regina, who's 2-0. They'll take on Wisconsin Whitewater, who eliminated what people were calling America's team last night, Birmingham Southern. So the Birmingham Southern storybook run has come to an end. It'll be Salve Regina versus Wisconsin Whitewater at 1:15 today, scheduled for anyway. And Salve is in the boat that Lynchburg is in, where they only need to win 1 of 2. Whitewater is Misericordia in that game, wearing their shoes. They got to win both to get in that championship series, which begins at noon on Wednesday. Everybody gets a day off tomorrow, barring any kind of weather. It's overcast skies today, but the rain chances are pretty much 0 here in Northeast Ohio. Matt Lanzendorfer is the starting pitcher today for Misericordia. It's his first start of the season, baseball fans. He has been their closer. He has 8 saves. He picked up a save on day 1 against Pomona Pitzer for Misericordia in their 6-3 victory. Strike 1 called to Brandon Garcia. Hollywood stepping in and leading off for Lynchburg. He's had a good tournament so far. Brandon Garcia has a 5-game hit streak working right now. Garcia's got 12 hits in 12 postseason games. This is game 13 in the playoff run for Lynchburg. 1-1 count as the lefty Lanzendorfer has missed the zone back-to-back times. He's 3-0 in 17 appearances. Again, this is his first start. He's only allowed 4 earned runs all season. Struck out 43, walked just 10. Batters hitting 168 against this left-handed closer turned starter for Misericordia. 2-2 count coming up. Brandon Garcia, red batting gloves, hands held high. He'll flare at this one and push it out of play. We'll try it again at 2-2. Ben Jones is on deck. It's the same batting order for Lynchburg they went with on day 1 of this tournament. It'll be Jones in the 2-hole, Quinn Madden batting 3rd, Sean Pokerock, the catcher, cleaning up, Eric Hyatt, number 5, hitting 5th, Gavin Collins playing 3rd base, hitting 6th, You got Joe Munitz, the first-year man, in the 7th spot. Eddie Gimble playing left, batting 8th, and O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th. Rounding out the order. Here comes full count delivery to Brandon Garcia. This ball's popped up. Elevator shaft. Straight up. Catcher tosses the mid away. That's Bollinger. Now he will make the grab for the first out of the inning. Brandon Garcia saw a full 7 pitches in that at bat. Definitely some value there from your leadoff man, especially when you're working against a closer who, really he's been more of a one-inning closer as well for Misericordia, so you might not have the deepest book, the deepest file to go on with Lanzendorfer. So nice to see it in person with a full 7 pitches there. First pitch to Ben Jones coming up. He'll twitch the hips but not fire the bat, and that is a called strike on the outer half. 0-1 count on Ben Jones, who came into the tournament hitting .375 in postseason play. It was an 0 for day 1 against Ben Jones, but he had a nice double against Misericordia, and it just looks like Ben Jones could be heating back up again. 0-2 count. Southpaw will twirl. That's off the plate by design, and it's a 1-2 configuration on the scoreboard coming up. We are in the bottom half of the first inning. It's a 0-0 ball game. Cougars went 3 up, 3 down in their half. Jones will lay off an off-speed pitch that's away and in the dirt. And now our count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Can't wait to tell you more about O'Kelly McWilliams when he comes up. He's had a tournament to remember so far. Eric Hyatt as well. Bunch of Hornet heroes. Bunch of guys that have really been putting together good stuff in postseason play in general. And even throw that back to the regular season. But now here in Eastlake, they're playing their best baseball. Full count. Ben Jones will spray one up the middle. There's your first base hit of the game. That was a nice little piece of 2-strike hitting there for Ben Jones. And, yeah, I think Benny Bombs is getting heated up. He's a complete hitter, a complete player. His defense has really improved so much from last year. Ben Jones. Remember starting as a freshman, and he came on early March. He was not starting right away at second base. But he came in there, and defense was kind of an afterthought. And I think the coaches were okay with that. They said, hey, you're a banger. Get us those extra base hits. Drive some guys in. We'll work on the defense. Well, he has. Ben Jones is really a slick fielder this season. He's made some good plays in the postseason run. The 0-0 fastball missed inside to Quinn Madden. And he's got a hitter's count early with good speed on the bases. Lefty Lanzendorfer looks at Ben Jones, now kicks and deals. Another pitch that's inside. 2-0 count for Quinn Madden, who's closing in on the Lynchburg single-season RBI record. 67 RBI right now for Quinn Madden. He'll blister a ball to right field. Right fielder going back, makes the catch on the move towards the warning track. That ball was hit well from Quinn Madden. I think he felt like he got a pretty good swing off. But a nice grab out there by Garrett McElhaney. And that will be out number 2 of the bottom of the first inning. Sean Pokerock steps in. Pokey with a 2-hit day on Friday against Endicott, and he was on 4 times. 2 base hits, got hit by a pitch, and walked. Sean Pokerock, a guy with a proven postseason pedigree, did some great things to help get Lynchburg to Cedar Rapids in the national championship tournament last year, and then also helped get them to the championship. 0-1 start for Sean Pokerock. He'll swing at the second pitch. This ball's foul down the right field line, but may stay in catching distance. Long run there for the first baseman. He will not be able to make the grab as it bounces just in front of the tarp that's stationed down the right field line. Fairly spacious foul ground here at Classic Park in Eastlake. Again, it is a minor league facility, a minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians, just like those Lynchburg Hillcats are back in the Hill City. So some players that have played for both. Here comes an 0-2 to Sean Pokerock. Ben Jones not running on the pitch. Pokey swings through it, and that will bring a close to the first inning. So Lynchburg gets one on a Ben Jones single, but gets no further than first base, and we will move to the top of the second inning. 0-0 ball game. We are underway here in game 11 of the tournament. Lynchburg trying to play their way into the championship series. You're listening to it on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. It's Lynchburg and Misericordia in Game 3 of the tournament for Lynchburg. Game 13 in the postseason run for the Hornets. A postseason run that is unblemished so far. Plenty of close games, though, for Lynchburg, and that's probably an understatement. Lynchburg now with the outstanding pitching efforts in this tournament. They've got an interesting stat going on here, and I'll give it to you. Lynchburg in postseason play now, in those 12 games, has allowed 2 earned runs or less 8 times. And that is elite right there. When you limit the other team's offense in such a way that you only need to score 3 runs yourself, it's just incredible. This pitching for Lynchburg has been off the charts good, and I can't wait to revisit it and tell you more about it as this game goes on, and maybe we'll see another one from Colin McGuire. Who knows? It's a high bar that has been set, and if you're Colin McGuire, I think a key is to not try to do too much. You always hear that phrase, stay within yourself. Don't try to do too much. McGuire hit the middle of the plate with the first pitch fastball, and then the breaking ball is off. It's a 1-1 count on Connor Marinac. Marinac was the starting pitcher for Misericordia in Lynchburg's win. He'll float one to high right field. Quinn Madden moving towards the gap slightly. Routine catch there. And it's another out in the books. 4 up, 4 down right now to begin the ball game for Colin McGuire and the Lynchburg defense. Up steps Joe Commons, the left fielder for Misericordia. Enters with a .371 batting average. For Misericordia, this is game 51 of the season. They are 40-10. They were 40-15 last year. And a team that was eliminated not at this level last season, but a round before this in Cedar Rapids, Iowa last year. 1-0 count to Joe Commons as Logan McGuire missed down and in. McGuire working out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. Pulled foul right side, and now the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. There is 1 out in the top of the second inning. Chiniga MIOS is proud to support Lynchburg baseball. Like a family, they support each other and every single win. Join a workplace where teamwork and family values shine. Find your future at MIOScareers.com. The 1-1 from McGuire was high, and now it's 2 balls, 1 strike in the top of the second inning. Hitters Joe Commons batting 5th for Misericordia. Jason Sanfilippo on deck. He impressed me. First time these two teams played. Backside ground ball. Brandon Garcia is there. Fields down low, then straightens up and throws a strike across the diamond for the second out of the inning. Garcia's made a couple plays already in this one. I don't know if you throw him in the routine variety or not, but Brandon Garcia always having fun out there. Always capable, always ready. Love watching that guy play. This entire Lynchburg defense probably is still a little bit unheralded. And that's another thing. Lynchburg has played this entire postseason with a little chip on their shoulder. 4 seed in the ODAC tournament. They were the 8 seed in this national championship tournament. You would never know that from the way they play. If you didn't know anything about the squads today, you would say, yeah, I think this Lynchburg team's got a great chance. And then you'd tell people, well, they won it last year. And you'd go, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Granted, plenty of new faces. Lost the 1 and 2 starter from last season for Lynchburg. Closer Jack Batchmore has been on the IL for a lot of this season as well. 0-2 count. Here it comes from McGuire. Check swing. Good hold from Sanfilippo. And that ball was just off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes coming up. Lynchburg's had to have new faces inserted into the lineup. This lineup today has 5 players that featured in the batting order last year in Lynchburg's 2023 national championship run. But it's a new squad. It's a new story. The Vibes train. Here comes a 1-2 from McGuire. Up and away for a ball. There's 2 outs. We're in the top of the second inning. Lynchburg will send 5, 6, 7 up in their half of the second inning. Does it come right now? The 2-2 from McGuire. Breaking ball sprayed backwards by Jason Sanfilippo. He'll stay alive. Sanfilippo's a .307 hitter. Playing first base for Misericordia, who has really some electric numbers all the way around offensively. The pitch from McGuire inside. Sanfilippo under this one to left field. Long run for Eddie Gimbel. He's near the foul pole. He's on the warning track, and he's making the catch. Nice grab in deep left field for Eddie Gimbel. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Colin McGuire. Lynchburg Hornets coming to bat here in the bottom of the second. Hyatt, Collins, Munitz. You're listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chenega MIOS. Chenega MIOS is a company that benefits the Alaskan Native population. All their shareholders are Alaskan Natives, and so many initiatives and efforts that this great company has going on. Learn more and find your future at mioscareers.com. Eric Hyatt will study a first pitch fastball from Lanzendorfer. It does cross the inner third of the plate for strike one. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Hyatt will whiff on an off-speed pitch, and now it's an 0-2 count. Eric Hyatt's postseason so far has been one to remember again, and the trip to Eastlake has been very good. 3 for 6 here, 2 hits on day one, 1 on Saturday, 7 for his last 15 for Eric Hyatt. He'll foul one off and stay alive in this at-bat, and the other great Eric Hyatt stat is he has reached base at least one time in the last 15 contests. 0-2 coming up for Eric Hyatt. The pitcher is Matt Lanzendorfer, first start of the season. He is a closer by trade for Misericordia, and a very good one. Already got a save in this postseason. A 3-inning save on day one, game one against Pomona Pitzer. 0 earned runs, surrendered 2 hits in those 3 innings. Here's the 1-2 to Hyatt, pulls another one foul. Lanzendorfer in that game against Pomona Pitzer, 4 strikeouts, no walks, threw 46 pitches. So he's had 2 days removed from that. Got to think he's fully rested. Now you take your best bullpen option away when you start him. And if you do have the if necessary game after this, is he able to throw some in that? Who knows? Some guys have that rubber arm. Was wide right with a fastball. The 2-2 to Eric Hyatt. Hit right out of the catcher's mitt to stay alive in the at-bat. Lynchburg's already working some very nice long at-bats. Remember 7 pitches from Brandon Garcia before he popped out. Quinn Madden hit a ball well just directly at the right fielder. And Lynchburg did have 1 hit in that first inning with Ben Jones, a good shot up the middle. The 2-2 to Hyatt. He'll pull this one in the left center gap. That's down. Oh, yeah. Eric Hyatt on a heater again. He might be the Hornet hero that we're looking for this week. Eric Hyatt will just ease his way on to second base with a stand-up double. Lynchburg had 5 doubles day one. Hyatt had 2 of them. He's got 3 doubles in the tournament so far. Eric Hyatt, just one of my all-time favorites. And I think he's a Hornet faithful favorite with the way he's playing. Remember, Eric Hyatt led the team in RBI in those games in Cedar Rapids, Iowa last year. Up steps Gavin Collins, checking in, who talk about damage doing in his career. 200 hits in the great career for Gavin Collins. First pitch floats out of the hand from Lanzendorfer, and it's a 1-0 count. Yeah, Gavin Collins always ready for the opportunities. He's got the junior, Eric Hyatt, leading off at second base. A leadoff double for Hyatt. Good swing from Gavin Collins, but came up empty, and the count is even at 1-1. Misericordia's offense has some eye-popping numbers. but their defense and pitching has been really great as well. Postseason ERA coming in to this tournament was just 2.22, and that really has been only matched by Lynchburg's postseason ERA, which, as I mentioned, 8 times in the postseason, Lynchburg has allowed 2 earned runs or less. Lynchburg has 2 postseason shutouts, 2 true shutouts, 2-1 count for the right-handed swinging senior from Clifton, Virginia, Gavin Collins. That pitch is not close, and now look out. Gavin Collins has got himself in a hitter's count. Lynchburg is struck early in their postseason run. They've exploded late as well. But the moment could be right now for a guy like Gavin Collins. Hyatt leads off at second. Infielders not keeping him close. Here comes the 3-1. Collins swings on this. Hit into center field, but not deep enough. Will not get by Jack Regine there. Eric Hyatt's going to bluff the run to third and then retreat back to second base. There's now 1 out in the bottom of the second inning after the Gavin Collins F8 flyout. Designated hitter Joe Munitz batting 7th and stepping into the batter's box. He's a left-hander from the Virginia Beach Tidewater area. I think Virginia Beach, exactly. Frank W. Cox High School for Joe Munitz, who is one of those new additions. Not a transfer like O'Kelly McWilliams and Quinn Madden. A first-year guy, but man, what a player. 1 batting glove, that's on the right hand. Got a nice new white grip on the bat. He'll study the inside fastball, came in just above the knee for a called strike 1. Hyatt leading off at second. Left fielder Eddie Gimbel bats in the 8 hole. He's waiting on deck. Lansendorfer checks Hyatt. Munitz swings, and it's a foul ball. 0-2 count. The Vibes Train Express. The Vibes Train. That's you hear about vibes and vibrations all the time, but the Lynchburg team first started talking about it in this postseason run. Sean Pokerock, the conductor of that train, the spiritual and emotional leader in a lot of ways. But so many leaders on this squad. Munitz will foul one away to the other side. His first foul ball in the at-bat went left. This one goes right. Lansendorfer will get a new baseball and then toe the rubber. Look in for the sign from the catcher, Brock Bollinger. Infield straightaway, normal depth. Same thing in the outfield for Misericordia. Joe Munitz will foul another one. This one went in between the third base bag and Lynchburg third base coach Oscar Garcia. Coaching staff has got some great vibes of their own. Always pretty even-keeled guys, pretty positive, pretty happy, optimistic guys in general for Lynchburg on the coaching staff. And then winning 12 games in a row is not going to slow that down, right, baseball fans? This ball's low and away. Good hold from Joe Munitz. It's a 1-2 count. So Munitz fouled off 3 separate tough 2-strike pitches. So it's another at-bat where, regardless of result, got to say some positives for Joe Munitz. Here's the 1-2. Munitz hits this ball hard to the second baseman. Hyatt will advance, but Munitz is going to be out at first on the ground out. 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Eric Hyatt shuffles over to third base. And it will bring up senior left fielder Eddie Gimbel. Eddie Gimbel's a guy with a great story. A hard-working guy. He's been waiting for the opportunities. You never quite know when you're going to get them in the game of baseball. But Eddie Gimbel has gotten them. This is start number 13 on the season. He's played now in 25. Comes into the game hitting .243. But another guy, when you watch him play, and other people outside of observers have said this, you think Eddie Gimbel's just an everyday guy, and he's hitting like .350 or .370 when you watch him take swings in the playoffs. 1-0 count for Eddie Gimbel. He will take a pretty good rip at the second pitch of the at-bat. Swing and miss, and now it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Eddie Gimbel's been the hero at times. Defense on display at Case Western. Some offensive exploits here at East Lake. Close pitch. Gimbel just watches. And now it's a 2-1 configuration for Matt Lansendorfer. Southpaw is set and ready. Looks over the target. Right leg comes up. He'll fire. Gimbel sends this one into the screen behind for a foul ball. 7-8-9 due up for Misericordia in their half of the third inning. Pretty quick moving game so far. Hyatt's on third. The 2-2. Gimbel. Nice hold there on a pitch that was down and away. And now it's a full count. O'Kelly McWilliams waiting on deck. Would be great to see him get up here in the bottom of the second inning with 2 runners on. Payoff to Gimbel. He'll push it hard to the first baseman, but a nice little running grab by Jason Sanfilippo to take a hit away. Lynchburg's hit a couple on the nose this game. They do have 2 hits to show. Eric Hoehne a double, but he is left stranded, and we are still scoreless through 2 complete here in East Lake, Ohio. You're listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. It's Division III College Baseball Championship action, the D3 World Series, if you will. It's on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Misericordia getting set to bring up 7, 8, 9 in their half of the top of the 3rd inning here. Cougars are 11-1 in postseason play. They are 40-10 total. That follows up a 40-15 campaign from last year. I believe it's 12 out of the last 13 seasons Misericordia has advanced to an NCAA regional. So that tells you some sustained success for the Cougars. Lynchburg has gone to regionals 4 years in a row. They've actually won at least one game in those last 4 regional appearances. And Lynchburg winning it all last year, winning the big one, all the marbles last season as the national champs. And they truly have a national championship defense that is strong and full steam ahead. Off-speed pitch for Colin McGuire, taken for strike 1 by Andrew Van Horn. Van Horn's a guy that came off the bench in that game against Lynchburg and got 2 hits. Andrew Van Horn a hit yesterday. Ben Jones is going to have to go up the middle to take a hit away. Fields on one hop, throws across his body, and the out is made at first base. Second pitch hack there from Andrew Van Horn. Good placement, but didn't hit it hard enough to get it by the speedy Ben Jones. We have already commented on his outstanding fielding prowess this season, which has gotten better and better. Second baseman for Misericordia, Gabe Bunn, is a junior. He'll check in with 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. Gabe Bunn with an interesting batting stance, had a fastball come up and in. McGuire buzzed the tower there, and it's a 1-0 count. Yeah, Bunn keeps the hands like around the belt, and the bat is sort of pointing at the catcher, Sean Pokerock. So it's an interesting way to sort of lay the bat down with really low hands, and then as he makes a stride and moves towards the pitcher, that bat comes up, the hands come up. 1-1 from McGuire was low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to the man with the interesting stance, junior second baseman Gabe Bunn. Hornets will have 9-1-2 due up in their half of the 3rd. Lynchburg with 2 hits, 1 in each inning, 2 runners stranded. Most recently, Eric Hoehne doubled, but got hung out to dry at 3rd base as Lynchburg hit a couple balls hard for outs in their first 2 innings as well. Quinn Madden to right, Eddie Gimble to first. 2-2 from Colin McGuire. Right-hander deals. That ball's upstairs, and now it's a full count. I think it's the first time McGuire's been to a 3-ball count so far. This is the 8th batter he's faced. First time through the order for the first-year man from Cross Junction, Virginia. Working out of the windup, he'll get it started and punch out Gabe Bunn. Looked like he got him inside. Couldn't quite tell if it was the heater or maybe a slider, but either way, it's effective. There are 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. First strikeout for Colin McGuire. Wesley Arrington struck out 12 and walked none in the tournament opening gem against Endicott. Another complete game for Wesley Arrington. I hope he doesn't do it so much that it becomes routine and we don't still celebrate Wes's exploits. Arrington and Matfield have both made 16 starts now for Lynchburg. I think they've each just lost 2 games this season, so it's not just the postseason where Matfield and Arrington have been great, but they've turned it up a notch. It's like the amplifier goes to 11 for Lynchburg's pitching staff, and they use that setting when we get to postseason play. Yeah, amplifiers and rock and roll. Cleveland, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Lynchburg doing major rolling of their own. The 0-2 from McGuire, chop to Brandon Garcia. He'll have to run and throw. Sidearm fling is on target, and it's another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Hornets. Yeah, 0-0 game. Lynchburg looking for their first runs in the bottom of the third. McWilliams, Garcia, Jones coming up when we come back. D3 National Championship Baseball. It's elimination time again. Lynchburg needs to win one of two today against Misericordia. You're hearing it on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Hello again, baseball fans. Kyle Hoehne hanging out with you on a Monday morning brunch in baseball. We haven't made any ham and eggs or sizzling bacon references just yet, but we need to get that going, especially as the game goes on. We'll run out of time, and we'll have to just make lunch references for this delicious dish that Lynchburg baseball is. Yeah, sweet and savory, and it's a meal that we have enjoyed over and over again. Wow, what a career for the coaching staff at Lynchburg. Thinking about the Lucas Jones, Travis Beasley combination, Michael Solbach, Oscar Garcia. They've been such a part of this success. And then the newer faces, Gabe Garcia, Cam Lane. Coaching staff is incredible here at Lynchburg. They'll give all the credit to the players. We don't mind doing that ourselves. O'Kelly McWilliams is a player. He'll pull one foul and sitting in an 0-2 count against Matt Lansendorfer, the talented closer turned starter for Misericordia. He's allowed 2 hits, but no runs just yet. Still blanked between these two squads through 2.5. O'Kelly McWilliams is the leadoff hitter for Lynchburg in the bottom of the third. The 0-2. McWilliams under that, but it's foul. Hit it fairly well down the left field line, but foul immediately right off the bat. Leadoff man Brandon Garcia waiting on deck for the vibes train that is Lynchburg offense, a real locomotive. Here's the pitch to McWilliams. Pulls that. Left center gap. Long run there for Regine. He'll call off the left fielder and make the catch. It just stayed up in the air too long for O'Kelly McWilliams to get on base there as the speedy center fielder Jack Regine hauls it in for the first out of the inning. It's another fairly good swing from Lynchburg. I mean, really, you have not seen Lynchburg make many bad swings yet off Matt Lansendorfer. And that impresses me already because back to the numbers for this guy, left-handed senior Matt Lansendorfer, the earned run average is 1.05. Coming into the game, he had 8 saves, 3 wins, and 17 appearances, just over 34 innings. Struck out 43 and only walked 10. Garcia hard up the middle, but the shortstop had him played there, and then a strong over-the-top throw across by Connor Marianac will retire Brandon Garcia. So just a 2-pitch at bat that time for Hollywood. Saw 7 in his first plate appearance. But there are now 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Ben Jones will check in, already 1 for 1. Did have a hit against Misericordia on Saturday. 1 of 2 doubles that day for Lynchburg. Lynchburg had 7 doubles coming into the game. They now have 8 as Eric Hyatt put one in the left center gap in the second inning. This ball bounces into the catcher's mitt. 1-0 count for Benton Jones. Benny bombs. Benny bases. The complete player. Here it comes. Down and in, and now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Quinn Madden waits on deck. He hit a ball hard at the right fielder in his first at-bat back in the first inning. Lansendorfer, lefty, working from the stretch. He'll fire just under the knee, and that's ball 3. Outfield actually has Ben Jones played the opposite way, and he has been using the entire field more this season. The 3-0 is low. That's 4-pitch walk to Ben Jones. We know he does that. Ben Jones was in the top 5 in the country in walks. He's still there Just haven't checked the updated national standings in that statistical category. But for Ben Jones on the season, that is now walk number 48. Brandon Garcia has drawn 44 walks. Eric Hyatt, 38. It's a Lynchburg team that will use the walk. Well documented by this broadcaster, Lynchburg led the nation in walks last year and in 2022. Hey, fun fact, this is the longest winning streak for Lynchburg since 2021. So think about that. All the success. They won a national championship last year. They didn't even have a 12-game winning streak last year. 0-1 count for Quinn Madden. Open stance, hands high. He absolutely blasts this ball in the left center gap. That's down. Ben Jones will turn around second. He's going to cruise into third. Madden forced to stay at first base, so it's just a hard single. But Lynchburg picks up their third hit of the game, and now it's runners at the corners. 2 outs with Sean Pokerock. Pokey struck out on a high fastball in his first at bat. Let's see what can happen here in the bottom of the third inning as Matt Lansendorfer is on the ropes again for Misericordia. 3 hits now for Lynchburg, 4 base runners total when you factor in the Ben Jones walk. Mound Conference coming up. Nope, catcher Brock Bollinger will just step out from behind his catcher's position and give the instructions to the infield of how Misericordia wants to guard a potential first to third steal situation. Jones at third, Madden at first. Sean Pokerock is the hitter. Pokey, right-handed swinger, white batting gloves, waiting. This ball is laced up the middle. Lynchburg is on the board. Hornets sting early. Madden's going to try to go first to third. He will do just that. RBI single for Sean Pokerock. And his incredible tournament continues. Pokey had 2 hits on day 1 against Endicott, stepping up in a big spot and delivering. Back-to-back base hits. Lynchburg now with 4 total. And the locomotive that is the Vibes train is picking up steam again. Already full steam ahead for Lynchburg, but you just never quite know what the starting pitcher is going to give you, how he's going to be able to shut you down. Lynchburg liking what they see right now. Hornets on top 1-0. Runners at first to third again. Eric Hyatt will take a first pitch ball. There are 2 outs. We are in the bottom of the third inning. Let's fix that. Bottom of the third inning. Here's the 1-0 to Hyatt. Swings on it, pushes it towards the parking lot over the Lynchburg dugout and stadium here at Classic Park. Yeah, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. It's a 1-0 ball game. Lynchburg has struck early. The 1-1 to Hyatt. Low and inside. Ball 2. Really good hitting. Even before that, I said Lynchburg had gotten some good swings off. They hit some balls hard right at defenders. They're seeing some drop in the green grass of the outfield now. Here's the 2-1. Hyatt's going to get a base hit. Yeah, ram jam down the left field line for Eric Hyatt. Lynchburg goes up 2-0. Sean Pokerock will cruise into third. Eric Hyatt a head first slide into second base. Hornets have full sting early. What a piece of hitting by Eric Hyatt. Don't know if you call that a double or not. There was a slight misplay in the outfield. We'll wait and see if we get some indication on the scoreboard. But either way, it's 3 straight base hits for Lynchburg. Eric Hyatt is 2 for 2. That's to go along with the 3 hits that he had already through 2 games in this tournament. And now you will get a much-needed mound conference right here to try to settle the closer-turned-starter, Matt Lansendorfer. You know, when you have a pitcher like this that he's talented, he's done it at the end of games. He's done it under extreme pressure. 8 saves on the season for Lansendorfer. But when you're making your first start, that can change things. When you're making a start against a team that has what Lynchburg has, that can change things for even the best pitcher. Lynchburg pressures you in so many ways. This is another Lynchburg run-scoring rally, folks, that has come with 2 outs. Lynchburg did this day 1 against Endicott, a 4-run inning with 2 outs, and now it's happening again and again. Just put it on repeat. Lynchburg does this so much. They never give away at bats. They never give you easy outs. You think, well, I got the first 2 in the books. I'm comfortable now. Ben Jones draws a 4-pitch walk, and then it's 3 straight base hits for Lynchburg. The Vibes train. Right on track, right on course, And they do not want to stop until they get another national championship. Let's see where the inning stops. It's runners on second and third with 2 outs for the senior Gavin Collins. Flew out to center in his first at bat. First pitch after the mound visit is a good one. Inside corner, mid-thigh for strike 1. Defense straight away for Misericordia. Center fielder played slightly in the left center gap. Collins will slash at 1 and foul it away. It's an 0-2 count on Gavin Collins. 200 hits in his career. Gavin Collins picked up 199 and 200 in the game against Misericordia. Hornets are facing that same team today. Misericordia needs to win 2. Here's the 0-2 to Gavin Collins, up and away for ball 1. Matt Lansendorfer is a senior from Pittston, Pennsylvania. And in his career, this is his first start. He has been a bullpen man for his entire career. Gavin Collins gets a piece of 1 to stay alive. We'll do it again at 1 and 2 with 2 outs. In the bottom of the third inning, Lynchburg leading 2-0. He's had a healthy career. I mean, we're talking robust here for this man, Matt Lansendorfer. This is appearance number 46, but the first start in his collegiate career. He'll fire 1-2 to Gavin Collins, and Gavin Collins will stay alive again. Mr. Smoothness, Gavin Collins. Notice that right away, that there is just no better third baseman on the run than Gavin Collins. He's in the batter's box right now. Red batting gloves, getting set in the crouch. Here comes the 1-2. Collins will fight another one away. This is a long at bat. Talk about healthy and robust. Gavin Collins has stayed at the dish for a while. Let's see if he can deliver something tasty of his own. Runners at second and third. Pokerock at third. Hyatt at second. Outfield, medium deep, slightly to pull for Gavin Collins. Here comes the 1-2, and it's another foul ball. That one got a piece of the catcher. Shrapnel right there. Umpire's going to give Brock Bollinger some time to try to work out the kinks and get some feeling back in whatever hit him on the body there. Good umpiring. I think our officiating this entire tournament has been outstanding. And I'll tell you, you do have the option of a coach's review. You get 2 for each team. I think the coaches' reviews are like 1 for 15 in the tournament. There's only been 1 overturned in the tournament. That tells you how good these umpires are. They don't miss much. They're human, but they really don't miss much. We're set for baseball again. Lansendorfer is set with runners at second and third. Gavin Collins is going to stay alive again. Another foul ball. I've lost track. Anybody listening, keeping track? I think it's 7. Could be wrong. 50-50 chance that I am wrong, but I think it's 7 foul balls in the at-bat for Gavin Collins. It's just a 1-2 count, by the way. And we'll try it again at 1 and 2. Lansendorfer set. Here it comes. Collins airborne. This one's going to stay in play. Not a foul ball. Shortstop calling it under it. Battling a little bit of sun that has come out here in East Lake, but he will make the catch. So the inning ends there, but another great one for Lynchburg. 2 spot in the bottom of the third. 3 straight base hits. Madden, Pokerock, and Hyatt all reach. Ben Jones scored after a walk, and Lynchburg is on top 2-0 after 3 complete. NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Chiniga MIOS is proud to present NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. I'm Kyle Hoehne, and we are just all witness to the incredible Lynchburg Hornets baseball team. The Vibes train has a 2-0 lead. Still a long, long way to go in this one, and this is a potential 2-game day for Lynchburg. Misericordia needs to win this one to force that, if necessary, game. That would be at 4:45 p.m. Game 2 of the day later on today, and Game 12 of the tournament will feature Salve Regina and Wisconsin Whitewater. Salve is in Lynchburg's shoes. They are 2-0 in the tournament. They only need to win one game today. Whitewater needs to win both, and Lynchburg, if they should win the one of two today, will be facing one of those squads. But more on that later. How about the Lynchburg third inning? 2 runs on 3 hits. Ben Jones walked and scored. Lynchburg does leave 2 stranded. And in total now, Lynchburg has 5 hits, scored 2 runs. There are no errors on the board yet for either team. Lynchburg has left 4 stranded, 3 in the scoring position. Breaking ball in the dirt from Colin McGuire. It'll be a 1-0 count for Garrett McElhaney, 5th-year man playing right field. Grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. We're in the top of the 4th inning here at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. This one just south of the zone, and now it's a 2-0 count. Back to Colin McGuire, who has faced the minimum through the first 3 innings. Read into that if you want, baseball fans. But McGuire has not fallen behind many hitters. He's fallen behind 3-0 now to Garrett McElhaney. I think McGuire's only gone to 1 3-ball count, but make it 2 right now. And McElhaney will face a 3-0 delivery. Misericordia is a team that, I don't want to say they don't let the hitters swing 3-0, but you just never see it. It could be just by the things the coaches talk about. Players know, hey, I just shouldn't do that, or it could be a strict rule, a hard rule in place. The 3-0 and the 3-1 were both on target for Colin McGuire, and now it's a full count. Jack Regine waits on deck. McGuire in the windup. He'll kick and deal. This ball swung on, put into play. Right field, Quinn Madden was going back, and he couldn't catch that ball. That's down for a double. McElhaney has the first hit of the game for Misericordia. Homered yesterday, and McElhaney has put together a good tournament. 4 for 12. He had 4 RBI yesterday. He's 2 for 2 in the stolen base department. So that's hit number 5 in 4 games for Garrett McElhaney. Quinn Madden. I still can't get it right. Colin McGuire's the pitcher. Quinn Madden is the right fielder for Lynchburg. And I don't know what's going on with me there. Both names start with M, but that feels like a lukewarm excuse. Runner on second with nobody out. So we got to get back to serious business now because, again, while Lynchburg leads 2-0, there's so much baseball left. These good teams like Misericordia, they don't just lay down and quit. Sacrifice bunt will get McGuire down off the slope, right side. He'll field, low throw, picked up by Eric Hyatt for the first out of the inning. So a successful sac bunt by Jack Regine. That's another thing that Misericordia is known for. They are going to bunt and bunt and bunt some more. Even when they are down multiple runs, they will still sacrifice bunt. A lot of teams, when they're down multiple runs, they want to have a big run-scoring inning. They want to score 2 or 3 or 4 in an inning like Lynchburg tends to do. Yeah, Lynchburg will have some one-run innings as well, but Misericordia does not go away from that program. This ball is high and deep to left center. Eddie Gimble is there. No, O'Kelly McWilliams will call him off and make the catch at the wall. That's a sacrifice fly. That could have actually been worse for Lynchburg as Brock Bollinger just missed, scraping one over the wall in left center. But the first run is on the board for Misericordia. That goes to their script. Leadoff double. They sack bunt McElhaney to third, and then he scores on a sacrifice fly from Brock Bollinger. O'Kelly McWilliams ended up making the catch. That was deep. I mean, McWilliams had first his outstretched right arm on the wall to feel where it was at. Eddie Gimble was right beside him, within about 2 or 3 feet of him. And then as O'Kelly McWilliams caught it, he kind of leaned into the wall with the body. He didn't really crash into it because he was already set up in there. Textbook outfield play. Here's one pulled left side. Garcia gave a dive, but that's through. Connor Marianak is on board with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. So Colin McGuire sat down the first 9 in a row. 3 innings of no-hit ball for the first-year man from Cross Junction. But the 4th inning proving to be slightly problematic for Lynchburg defensively. Joe Commons will check in with 2 outs, a runner on first. Grounded out to short in his first at bat. McGuire set, Looks over the front shoulder, turns the eyes to that runner at first base, and then sends him back sliding with a pickoff attempt. Connor Marianac is 16 of 19 in the stolen base department this season. And again, Misericordia runs a lot. They bunt, they run, they do the little things, they manufacture runs. That was the term that you used to hear quite a bit more in baseball. Manufacture runs, small ball. They play fundamental baseball. They're here for a reason. They've made it to regionals in 12 of the last 13 seasons for a reason. 2-1 ball game, as McGuire has not thrown a pitch yet to Joe Commons. A bevy of pickoff tosses back to first base to keep an eye on Connor Marianac. Misericordia over 140 stolen bases this season. They had 140 coming in. I know they had 2 or 3 yesterday and had a couple against Lynchburg. And they steal bases at an 84% success rate. Called strike 1. Nice pitch there by Colin McGuire to not let the situation bother him. I mean the runner and the fact that he's given up 2 hits in the inning. McGuire set just above the waist. Looked like Marianac was leaning, but did get back in time after another throw over to first base by Colin McGuire. Lynchburg has 7, 8, 9 due up in their half of the fourth. Munitz, Gimbel, and McWilliams all hitless so far in the day, but they'll be looking to join this hit parade quickly. Ball in the dirt. Pokerock picks. Now a throw to first. Ball found the glove of Eric Hyatt, but then bounced out on the headfirst slide back to the base by Connor Marianac. He's safe. And our count is 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. Lynchburg in the reds that they love. History, tradition there. Lynchburg loves their chances of clinching when they put on that red jersey. White pants today to go along with the black hat, red brim. Misericordia, same uniform they wore against Lynchburg a couple days ago. With the exception of the pants, they're in a cream white pant today. They were wearing gray pants on Saturday against the Hornets. It's the same blue and gray top. Blue helmet for the hitter, Joe Commons. He'll swing at this, fouls it off just in front of the Lynchburg dugout. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-1 ball game, runner at first. Both teams threw up donuts in innings 1 and 2. Misericordia scoreless in the top of the third. Lynchburg struck first with 2 runs in the bottom of the third. Lynchburg has not trailed at any point in their trip to East Lake, Ohio for the D3 World Series. Jump spin and throw by McGuire. Marianac back safely. Lynchburg defense has the left-handed swinging Joe Commons played the opposite way. That means O'Kelly McWilliams is set up in the left center gap. Quinn Madden basically straight away in right. Lynchburg fans loving the pickoff attempts. The non-rostered players have been into it again this season, much like last year. And everybody seems to be having fun. Misericordia has a boisterous dugout, non-roster players that are full of volume and energy. They were making some noise yesterday in Misericordia's win against Endicott, stealing some of the pages out of Lynchburg's non-rostered players book with the choreographed stuff and some other fun things. Ground ball to Brandon Garcia. He's there. Tosses to Ben Jones at second. Runner nearly beat it, but Lynchburg will get there in the nick of time for the 3rd out of the top of the 4th. Misericordia is on the board. Shutout gone. Lynchburg still leads 2-1 as we move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. You are listening to NCAA D3 National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. In the top of the 4th, the Misericordia Cougars get 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 1 runner stranded. There were no Lynchburg errors. We've got ourselves a 2-1 ball game. Joe Munitz, Eddie Gimbel, O'Kelly McWilliams scheduled up here in the bottom of the 4th inning for Lynchburg. Kyle Hoehne hanging out with you in East Lake, Ohio. Northeast Ohio. It's the second time in the last 2 weeks that Lynchburg has been here. Road Warriors, Barnstormers have been these Lynchburg Hornets. Now you think about it, they were at home for the opening round of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Tournament against Bridgewater. But since then, it's all road games, or at least neutral site games for Lynchburg. Up in Northern Virginia at Capital One Park for the ODAC Final Four. Then Lynchburg hit the road to Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. Laverne, California the next weekend. And now back to the Cleveland area here in East Lake, Ohio. Back-to-back balls. Joe Munitz hits with a 2-0 count. Nobody on, nobody out in the bottom of the 4th. So the mileage, according to the internet search engines, as Munitz gets set for a 2-0, that one will catch the outer black for a called strike 1. It was 174 miles from Lynchburg up to Tyson's Corner. 476 miles to Case Western Reserve. Over 2,400 miles to Laverne, California. And then another 470 plus back up here to East Lake, Ohio. 3-1 count for the first-year man from Virginia Beach. Joe Munitz does not offer at the delivery from Lansendorfer. And it's another called strike. Payoff pitch coming here to Munitz. Eddie Gimbel waits on deck. Infield straight away for Misericordia. Check swing for Munitz. Oh, they'll say he went. It was ball 4, but the catcher appealed down to third base. Joe Munitz is a left-handed hitter. He appeals down to the third base umpire, who says that Joe Munitz did offer at that ball that was up and in. A little bit of a tough break there for Munitz. It will be out number 1. And a Mountain Conference coming up right after that. Interesting here is, wonder if Matt Lansendorfer is going to stay in. Is this just a review of the game plan, or is a change coming? There is activity in the bullpen, and yeah, it is going to be a change. Must have been a strict pitch limit there, I think, for Lansendorfer. That's my hunch, and I will check the number of pitches for you, baseball fans. You can follow along the live stats, lynchburgsports.com. The links are there. Make sure you're staying with us on the social media. Great way to watch a game, I always say, if you are into the numbers. But I'm going to assume it was a strict pitch limit there for Lansendorfer. And let me also remind you that he did throw 46 pitches in day 1 of this tournament, back on Friday, May 31st. Now, maybe the concept is give us some innings in game 1, and if and when we win that, we'll still have you available for the if necessary game later on. And there also, again, there could have been other factors, and in fact, for a pitching change, there almost are always other factors. Coach has different things in mind. Pitchers have different things in mind. Broadcasters and fans have different things in mind, right? So there's a lot at play, and there is a lot at stake here for Misericordia. Obviously, it's an elimination game for them. It's a must-win game for the Cougars. For Lynchburg, it is not. They have a game to play with. Lynchburg needs to only win 1 of 2 today. Now, a lot of coaches will tell you if you lose that first game, well, all that goes out the window. You did a lot of hard work, but it doesn't matter now because now it's an elimination game for both teams if you get to that if necessary game. And then it really becomes all the marbles, as our buddy Quinn Madden, the Lynchburg right fielder, would say. But the new pitcher is Tyler Leonard. A little bit more on Tyler Leonard here in just a moment. It's a 2-1 ball game. We're in the bottom of the 4th, 1 out. Joe Munitz struck out on a full count pitch that was inside, but called strike 3 on the check swing. So the information on your screen there is correct, and we appreciate you listening along. We know it's not always easy to make time for a ball game, especially when you're before noon on a Monday. Some folks are working here on this first weekday of June. And I always say, if you're playing baseball in June, well, that means you've definitely done something right. Base hit bunt attempt from Gimbel is a good one. Did he beat it? He did not. Bang, bang at first. Coach Cameron Lane is asking for the headset gesture, saying we should use a review here And I think Lynchburg will take one of their reviews. I got the pitching update for you on Lansendorfer. It was 76 pitches. He threw 49 strikes. He was around the plate, only walked one. That was a 4-pitch walk to Ben Jones, who later came around and scored. All Lynchburg's runs last inning came with 2 outs. Lynchburg does lead 2-1. We are in the midst of an instant replay, a coach's challenge, a review. Eddie Gimble tried a base hit bunt down the third base line. Well placed. Owen Cordner, the third baseman for Misericordia, who's a freshman, was coming on strong, made a good throw on the run, but it looked like Eddie Gimble may have beaten it at first base. Now, we're only 10 minutes or so removed from me telling you that coaches' challenges have not gone well this tournament. I think they're about 1 for 15, but we got an overturned one right here. Eddie Gimble is safe. It's a base hit bunt. Hats off to our guy, the grad assistant, Cam Lane, down there at first base. He made the hands on the ears headset gesture really quickly there. He seemed to know that Eddie Gimble was safe. Great stuff there by Cam Lane. I know he doesn't get all the credit. He had to get the okay, or Travis Beasley, the head coach, has to give the okay. And, of course, the rest of the dugout is watching, too. That's not all on Cameron Lane, the first base coach for Lynchburg. But I think his confidence, the way he turned quickly to the dugout and said, let's use the review, I think that really helps right there. 1-0 count for O'Kelly McWilliams. He'll come up empty on an A-plus swing, and now our count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Eddie Gimble leads off at first with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. So fun stuff there. First one Lynchburg's had overturned. I think they were 0 for in that department in Cedar Rapids last season. A couple from Lucas Jones that just were mind-boggling that didn't go his way. 1-2 count as O'Kelly McWilliams came up empty again. Gimble leads off at first. The 1-2 is low. This ball's going to skip away from the catcher. Gimble's on the move. He'll cruise into second base, actually take a turn there. Brock Bollinger slides in front of the Lynchburg dugout to recover the loose ball. And now it's a 2-2 count as O'Kelly McWilliams will show some good sportsmanship and hand the mask back to Bollinger. Runner on second is Eddie Gimble. O'Kelly McWilliams, a tournament to remember so far. 4 for 8 coming into this ball game with 3 doubles. He scored 2 runs. He's driven in 1. The 2-2 from Leonard. Check swing from McWilliams. He did go around. They didn't even need to appeal that one. That's a strikeout. Second batter that Tyler Leonard has faced. And this will be the third. It's Brandon Garcia. Steps in, 0 for 2. He's popped out to the catcher and grounded out to the shortstop. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. It's a 2-1 Lynchburg lead. Tyler Leonard looking in for the sign. Third baseman is even with the bag. Shortstop holding Eddie Gimble on, so there's a lot of room on the left side of the infield for Brandon Garcia if he chooses and is able to hit a ball that direction. 1-0 count as Leonard missed outside with a first pitch fastball. Jones on deck. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Here comes the 1-0 from Leonard, also off the plate, wide. 2 balls, no strikes. Feels like pressure is on again. Lynchburg had that vice grip working there in the bottom of the 3rd inning where they scored 2 runs, all with 2 outs. It's got that feeling again, although no damage just yet in the inning. Gimble bouncing off at second. Here's the 2-0 to Garcia. That's a better location and a called strike. 2-1 for Tyler Leonard, grad student from Royersford, Pennsylvania. Made 8 starts last season, went 7-4 for the Cougars. He's set. Looks at Gimble, now lifts the left leg, throws the right arm. That's a pitch that is down, and it'll be a 3-1 count for Brandon Garcia. This man, Tyler Leonard, pitched 2 1/3 innings yesterday against Endicott College. No earned runs, walked 1, gave up no hits, so good numbers there yesterday. Why not go to him again? He's feeling it. Here comes the 3-1 to Brandon Garcia. He hits it at the shortstop. Gimble will advance. Throw coming across the diamond. That's successful, and the inning is over. So Lynchburg does get 1 on, another base hit, bunt single from Eddie Gimble, but he's left stranded in scoring position, and the score line remains the same. It's Lynchburg 2, Misericordia 1 through 4 complete at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. Getting set for the top of the 5th inning here at the NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball Tournament. We started this tournament with 8 squads. We're down to the final 4, if you will. Lynchburg is in the driver's seat. They need to win 1 of 2 today. Salve Regina in the driver's seat in the lower bracket, bracket 2. It's a 2-1 ball game. Lynchburg has gotten hits in every inning. They've only scored in 1. Hornets got 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. Lynchburg total 2 runs on 6 hits. They have now stranded 5, 4 of those in scoring position, including Eddie Gimbel in the 4th inning. Got on with a base hit bunt. That was a successfully overturned call. Excellent use of the coach's review for Lynchburg. And he got to second on a pass ball, but couldn't get any further. The hitter right now for Misericordia is Jason Sanfilippo. Facing a 1-1, now it'll be 2-1 as Colin McGuire lost the shape on that breaking ball. 10 a.m. first pitch for this one. Salve Regina and Whitewater play the next game, so if that additional game is necessary, the projected start time for that one is 4:45 this afternoon. And if there's an if necessary game for Salve and Whitewater, that might come as late as 8 p.m. tonight. It's a walk. First free pass that McGuire has issued. It'll get Jason Sanfilippo on board here with nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. Expect the sacrifice bunt right here. This is left-handed swinging first-year man Andrew Van Horn. Had 2 hits off the bench for Misericordia in the loss to Lynchburg 48 hours or so ago. Activity in the Lynchburg bullpen now. Looks like double barrel options going down there. There's the first pitch that came in mid-shin for ball 1. So I think indications are still really strong for Colin McGuire, but if you're Lynchburg, you want to have those options ready. You don't want to be caught off guard if something big brews here for the Cougars. They are, again, an offense that is scoring a lot of runs. They were averaging over 10 runs per game coming into this tournament. Just 6 runs per game in the postseason, but their scoring has been solid. They beat Pomona Pitzer 6-3. Only the 2 runs against Lynchburg, thanks to Nick Matfield and some great Hornets defense. But Misericordia put up 12 yesterday against a good Endicott Gulls pitching staff. So that's a number that'll scare you a little bit. It's the highest run-scoring output in the tournament so far. It looks like we're averaging just under 8 runs per game for the winning teams in this tournament here, 10 games in at East Lake, Ohio. Andrew Horn will wait on a 1-1, and he'll wait longer as Colin McGuire spins to keep Jason Sanfilippo close. Gavin Collins is in on the grass for Lynchburg. Middle is double play depth. Eric Hyatt, the first baseman, holding the runner on. He'll catch another pickoff toss attempt. Outfield is played the opposite way, medium depth. Andrew Van Horn is a left-handed hitting first-year designated hitter for Misericordia. Gray batting gloves, blue wristbands. He'll swing at this and going to float it over Brandon Garcia's head. Garcia was trying to time a jump up to try to pick that one out of the sky, but it was a full 13 feet or more over his head as it floats softly into shallow left field for a base hit. 3rd hit of the game for Misericordia. It's the 3rd hit this second time through the lineup. McGuire sat down the first 9 hitters in order. But now, a little bit of trouble against the talented Cougars batting order. Gabe Bunn will check in. He's a second baseman who struck out against Colin McGuire in his first at-bat, the only punch-out victim so far for McGuire, who will get to chat with assistant coach Michael Solbach. I've been talking about Coach Solbach for a long time, but we've been talking about him more this season because he has been making the mound visits. Last year, Travis Beasley was the associate head coach. He would make the mound visits and then also the pitching changes. This year, when you see Solbach, that means it's just a visit. When you see head coach Travis Beasley, that means a change is coming up. We got so many folks listening. Time for some quick little shout-outs here. Our great friend Caroline Inskeep says she's tuned in. I know the entire Rice family is tuned in. The Lane family had to be loving that use of the review by Lynchburg because it was Cam Lane who immediately turned to the dugout and made the gesture. We got more Hornet fans tuned in for sure. I know the KD Country Groove crew has got to be listening. And big thanks to them for doing a little extra heavy lifting so I can come out and have some fun. Evan Gates, Andrew Watson, Sam Graham, LHSN team, they got to be tuned in, right? Here's the first pitch to Bunn. Ball one. Actually did not show the sacrifice bunt, which is, once again, typically Misericordia's thing. They bunt some more, and then they bunt again. They bunt a lot. A buffet of bunting here in the Bruncheon baseball session. 1-0 count. Bunn waiting on it from McGuire. McGuire will check the runner. Now he'll spin and do a little change-up toss to second base where Brandon Garcia covers and then applies a token tag on the runner. That's Jason Sanfilippo at second. Andrew Van Horn is at first. Sanfilippo walked. Van Horn singled. Corners are in for Lynchburg, guarding against a would-be sacrifice bunt. Middle double play depth. Here's the 1-0. Pull to Brandon Garcia. There's one. Ben Jones across, and there's two. Tic-tac-toe around the diamond time for Lynchburg as they get two for the price of one. Sanfilippo does move up to third, but Lynchburg will definitely trade that for the 2 outs that they got on the play. That was the tailor-made double play. That was the textbook. It was just your garden variety four-hopper to Brandon Garcia. Casual underhand toss to Ben Jones, who was covering in more than enough time. It got him right at the belt line. He snatched it and threw to first for the second out. Ground ball, left side. Tougher play coming from Garcia. Across his body, Hollywood got him at first by a step. Lynchburg defense on display right there. A double play and then a great running grab, moving in the hole, going away from the target. Brandon Garcia always on target. What a play right there to get out of the inning unscathed. Lynchburg leads 2-1, moving to the bottom of the fifth. The Lynchburg Hornets associate head coach Lucas Jones told me yesterday that the double play is the home run of defense. He said, I want you to use that on the broadcast. So there you go, Lucas Jones. I've used it, and it felt like it right there, specifically when you follow up the double play with a great defensive grab there by Brandon Garcia. It's a ball chopped in the hole by the 9-hole hitter Owen Cordner. Garcia moving towards that hole, the third base line direction, fielding and then throwing across his body with strength and accuracy to get the man at first and get Lynchburg out of the inning. You're listening to NCAA Division III baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Visit MIOScareers.com to learn more about this great company that benefits the Alaskan Native population and find your new career, find your home, find more victories at Chiniga MIOS. 0-2 count pretty quickly for Ben Jones. Two really competitive pitches from Tyler Leonard. He's the second arm that Misericordia has used. Entered last inning to face Joe Munitz. He entered against Eddie Gimbel. Gimbel got on with the base hit bunt. Joe Munitz struck out against the starter, Lansendorfer, who threw 70-plus pitches and was lifted for this man, Leonard. There's the 1-2. Ben Jones is on it. Ben Jones is right on it. Yeah, bang on, Benny Bombs. This is down the line for a double. Ben Jones might be thinking three. He is. Ben Jones is going to take the turn. We've got a play there. Feet first slide. Oh, they got him. Man, that one had everything, baseball fans. Ben Jones went from the penthouse to the outhouse in one turn around second. Don't know if he was getting away from Oscar Garcia or not. Let's give a lot of the credit to Misericordia. A nice relay from that deep right field corner. Love the confidence from Ben Jones. And statistically, it does still go down as a double for Lynchburg. It's a base hit, but Ben Jones erased on the nice relay throw. Believe it was the shortstop Connor Marionak who was Additionally, the starting pitcher against Lynchburg Saturday, but Marianac fielded the relay throw from McElhaney on target to third base where Cordner made the tag. I think the pressure on the bases, as Quinn Madden smokes the ball to shortstop, Marianac will come up and make another good throw. 2 quick outs right there under somewhat strange circumstances. But I think Lynchburg's pressuring base running goes beyond just base stealing, and anybody that has watched or listened to this team would know that. They like to advance when the defense gives them an opening. They like to take extra bases, and it's a calculated risk. Sometimes it does not pay off, but you kind of run the percentages in your head as a coach in the offseason and before games, and I think it's one Lynchburg's okay with. Ben Jones trying to get on third with nobody out, tried to stretch the double into the triple. Misericordia made a good play. Tip your cap sometimes. I think Ben Jones, really, he's swinging the bat, though, isn't he? 2 for 2 with a walk in this game. Don't forget that. 2-0 count for Sean Pokerot. There are 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lynchburg leads 2-1. A lot going on here. Pokey looks at the 2-0. That's low for ball 3. On deck is Eric Hyatt, who is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. Hyatt had 2 doubles on Friday against Endicott. Middle fastball. Pokerot showed no signs of taking the bat off his shoulder, and now the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Pokey nice and loose, little wiggle with the hands, ready for the 3-1. Inside corner, called strike. Payoff delivery coming up here to Sean Pokerot. Sophomore catcher. And one of the great personalities. The conductor of the Vibes train will watch this one just float out of the right arm of Tyler Leonard. That's a ball. First walk that Leonard has issued, second in the game for Misericordia pitching. Ben Jones took a walk off Lanzendorfer. Here's Eric Hyatt. Find me a hotter hitter, and I'll probably put some money in your hand. Eric Hyatt is swinging it right now. Of course, Ben Jones is 2 for 2 today as well. Hyatt's 2 for 2 with a couple doubles. Fastball right down Broadway, taken for strike 1. Eric Hyatt with 2 doubles day 1. He had a hit yesterday. So now counting that, he's 5 for 8 in this tournament. Is he going to get another one? Yeah, this ball's down in center field. What a piece of hitting by Eric Hyatt. When you've already got 2 doubles, sometimes your next thought is, let me lead the yard. Let me try to get one out of here. Not that time for Eric Hyatt. He just pushed that ball right up the middle with a classic swing, and he is on board. 3 for 3 for Eric Hyatt. Eric Hyatt's 3 for 3 in this game. And now in the 3 games here at Classic Park, Eric Hyatt is 6 for 9 total. Pinch runner coming in is Josh Jorman. Josh Jorman will pinch run for Eric Hyatt. That has been part of the plan. Don't read anything into that, baseball fans. I know Hyatt is 3 for 3, but that's been what Lynchburg's been doing. Hyatt will get his 3 at-bats, and he'll exit, and Josh Jorman will come in. But what a day for Eric Hyatt. We'll continue to run that down. By the way, 2 runners on here for a good hitter. Gavin Collins is late on an inside fastball. It's floating to right field. McElhaney is there, and the inning will come to an end. So Lynchburg gets a couple more hits in the inning. They actually got 2 hits. Ben Jones got thrown out trying to advance to third. Eric Hyatt got a single in there, but 2 runners left stranded, and Lynchburg's 2-1 lead will hold as we head to the top of the 6th inning. It's NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Getting set for the 6th inning between Lynchburg and Misericordia. Lynchburg is swinging the bats. Just 2 runs to show for themselves, but 2 runs on 8 hits. Hyatt has 2 doubles. Ben Jones has a double. Get this now. Eric Hyatt in the 3 games here in East Lake, Ohio is 6 for 9 with 4 doubles. In his last 18 at-bats, Eric Hyatt has 10 hits. He's 10 for his last 18, and of course that's all in postseason play. Lynchburg an undefeated 12-0 in the playoffs. Fastball just missed the upper right quadrant of the strike zone, and it's a 1-0 count to Garrett McElhaney. McElhaney got to that ball that Ben Jones hit in the bottom of the 5th and made a strong relay throw to the shortstop. They got Ben Jones out at 3rd. This delivery from McGuire will paint the outer edge of the plate. And now it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nobody out. Corners are in for Lynchburg, guarding against a potential base hit bunt. There is that upper right quadrant, and that's called strike 2. McGuire really committed to that pitching plan of working the outside 3rd to this man, Garrett McElhaney. Let's see if Lynchburg goes back in here with the 2-strike pitch. Nope, they tried outside again, low and away, and now it's 2-2. McElhaney's 1 for 2 with a double. Actually got the first hit of the game for Misericordia. They have 3 off the Lynchburg starter, Colin McGuire. He'll try a 2-out base hit bunt. That's a beaut. That's almost undefendable right there. Remember the baseball rules, fans. If you bunt with 2 strikes, I said 2 outs, it's 2 strikes. If you bunt with 2 strikes and the ball is foul, then you are out. That's a strikeout. You can bunt with 2 strikes. It's funny because growing up, the coaches just tell you not to do it. I think some people think it's not allowed. It's allowed. You just can't bunt it foul. Then you're out. This was not foul. This was perfectly placed down the 3rd base line. That is a 2-strike bunt single. And back to that is part of Misericordia's game. They will do that. They will bunt over and over again. Runners on, no runners on. Got to watch for it here with the center fielder, Jack Regine. He had a successful sacrifice bunt to move McElhaney up in the 1-run 4th inning for Misericordia. Lynchburg leads 2-1 right now. 1 on, no out in the top of the 6th. But Josh Jorman really moving around over there to keep some Colin McGuire pickoff throws close by. Jorman did stay in for Eric Hyatt. Pinch ran for Hyatt after his single. Ben Jones with 2 hits today. He's now 3 for his last 5. 2 doubles in that mix as well. Regine waiting on the first pitch for McGuire. McGuire will step off. Offensive timeout coming. Hey, just as McGuire got set, Misericordia took one of their offensive timeouts. They got a lot of people involved in this. Base runner, batter, 2 assistant coaches, the on-deck hitter, and the hitter that was in the hole. So it's a huddle of about 7 Misericordia team members over there down the 3rd base line in foul territory. Fairly quick huddle. I thought there might be more discussion about the possible permutations and combinations that they might try to go with depending on what happened. So now, as a coach, you don't have to even give your signs anymore. You can say, hey, first pitch, we're going to hit and run, or show the bunt, then pull it back and hit and run. You got all your options going on. McGuire's going to make those options wait as he'll try to pick off McElhaney again, who, if you don't know, is a base-stealing threat just like the rest of the Misericordia team. McElhaney's 33 for 36 in the stolen base department this year. Was leaning on that one, but got back in time. Jorman had to snatch a ball that bounced once to him anyway. 2-1 ball game. Lynchburg leading. Here's the first pitch. It will be a sacrifice bunt. McGuire has it. Fields throws. Out completed at first base. Good job by Josh Jorman to shuffle across the bag. So the bunt moves McElhaney to second. He's in scoring position for the catcher, Brock Bollinger. Bollinger has a sacrifice fly and 2 fly outs to right. One of those did score McElhaney for the lone Cougars run. How about that double play from Lynchburg last inning, huh? So much happened offensively in the bottom half of the 5th that we thought we probably would get a chance to talk more about the 6-4-3 double play. And then Brandon Garcia with a running put out thrown across his body on the very next pitch. And in a playoff game, in a postseason game, where one team has their season on the line, the other team's trying to defend a national championship, you assume there's going to be a lot happening. Never really just going to have a quiet ball game with competition this good, are you? Something's going to happen. Teams are going to make something happen. Coaches are going to try to push some buttons and twist some knobs, pull some levers. And we have seen it. We have seen it for sure. The other games this tournament have been exciting. A couple walk-offs. Wisconsin Whitewater walking it off on a solo home run against Birmingham Southern. The run is over. First pitch, ground ball. Gavin Collins jumping, grabbing, throwing. Nice pick on a low throw by Josh Jorman. Excellent play over there defensively by Gavin Collins. You expect that. It was another high chopper they had to pull out of the sky near the third base line, load up and make a strong throw across the diamond. They get Brock Bollinger for the second out of the inning. Runner does move to third. So 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. The hitter will be Connor Marianac. 1 for 2 today, flew out to right. Marianac was the starting pitcher in the first matchup between these two teams. Swing and a miss. McGuire went to the breaking ball, got Marianac out front. 0-1 count. McGuire down in the crouch, weight on the front knee. That's the left leg. He looks in for the sign. Lynchburg has Marianac played to pull. He's a right-handed hitter. He'll hit right into the shift. That's Brandon Garcia. Shuffling, throwing, and making the out at first base. Lynchburg has to work through a little spot of bother as Garrett McElhaney got a little 2-strike bunt. He's stranded on third, and Lynchburg still leads 2-1. Looking for more in the bottom of the 6th inning. You are listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. The vibrations for Lynchburg continue to be strong. Confidence at an all-time high for the defending national champions. Unbeaten here in World Series play as Joe Munitz will foul one towards the third base coach Oscar Garcia. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lynchburg leads 2-1. Hornets have 2 runs on 8 hits. Lynchburg has left 7 stranded. It looks like 5 in scoring position for the Hornets. They have base hits in every single inning, Lynchburg. So it has been a relentless, consistent offensive attack for the Hornets hitters. 0-2 count for Joe Munitz. Munitz struck out in his last at bat. He'll pull this one to the right side. Ground ball handled there. Throw made by Gabe Bunn, and they will retire Joe Munitz at first. Eddie Gimble checking in, 1 for 2 with an infield single, a bunt single in his last at bat. Hit that hard line drive at the third baseman. Gimble's been productive again. And another story in a season of stories, a championship season. You're going to have so many. But in a season like this that goes on and on and on, Lynchburg 37-15. In a long season, you're going to have so many stories. But Eddie Gimble has been one. He had some heroics early in the year in late February. And then Eddie Gimble thrust back into a starting role here in the postseason as Logan Webster is dealing with a non-baseball injury. 0-1 start for Eddie Gimble. He'll swing at this. Swinging bunt down the third base line. Fielded foul. And Eddie Gimble will have to head a full 100 feet back down the first base line and get in the batter's box. O'Kelly McWilliams will retrieve the implement there, the bat for Eddie Gimbel. Hand it to him, maybe a little word of encouragement. O'Kelly McWilliams is waiting on deck. He's 0 for 2. Struck out in his last at bat. Gimbel was the first hitter to face the current Misericordia pitcher, Tyler Leonard. So this will be hitter number 10 that he has faced. No activity in the Cougar bullpen at the moment. Fastball up and in. Gimbel kind of rolls the left shoulder, didn't hit him, but it's ball 1. Lynchburg winners of 12 in a row. They are 4-0 in closeout games, or games where they can eliminate the other team. And this is one of those closeout games. If you're not familiar with that term, it's an elimination game for Misericordia. It's must win. All their marbles are in play. Lynchburg needs to only win 1 of 2 today. So if we get to the if necessary game, then Lynchburg will have to put all the marbles in the middle, right? 2-2 count as a slider missed. And the pitcher, Tyler Leonard, looks in for the sign. Now he's set and ready, fires in. Gimbel will flare it foul. You got a Lynchburg team that, as a ball club against Misericordia Saturday, was 10 for 30 with 2 doubles. They've got now a bunch of those through 3 games. We'll get you the total in just a minute. Here comes another 2-2 to Eddie Gimbel. Swing and a miss. Got him on strikes there. And there are 2 outs now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lynchburg scored their 2 runs in this game with 2 outs. So don't go changing just yet, baseball fans. But Lynchburg so far in this game has 3 doubles. Hyatt with 2, Jones with 1, even though he was thrown out at third. Still counts as a double. So it's 10 doubles through basically 2.5 games for the Lynchburg offense. They haven't cleared the fence yet, no home runs, but just sense that one of those could be coming. O'Kelly McWilliams has 1 home run on the season. He'll study a low breaking ball and work himself into a 1-0 count. McWilliams slugging .406. That's 1 homer, 3 triples, 10 doubles. He'll yank one through the hole. Shortstop went after it, but couldn't come up with it. And the speedster, IV, O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th, is aboard with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. O'Kelly McWilliams now updating his East Lake totals. That makes IV 5 for 11. He scored twice, driven 1 in. O'Kelly McWilliams has now hit safely in 9 of his last 13 games. So the postseason run for O'Kelly McWilliams has been solid, huh? This is game number 13 of that playoff run that started in early May. O'Kelly McWilliams is on with 2 outs. Brandon Garcia hitting. McWilliams is a speedster, 32 of 39 in the stolen base department this year. And getting a runner to second with 2 outs is always paramount. So let's see if McWilliams is off to the races early. Not on the first pitch. It's just above the knee for strike 1 to Brandon Garcia. Garcia confirming with the umpire, looking back. He'll face an infield configuration that is slightly playing him to pull. Third baseman even with the bag on the left side, but pulled off the line. Outfield has played the other way as well. Close one at first there, but McWilliams back safely on the dive. For Misericordia, it's going to be 5, 6, 7 due up in their half of the 7th inning. So yes, it is getting late for the Cougars. They're just dragging 1 run, though, down 2-1. Lynchburg looking for insurance. Very, very close at first. McWilliams back just by like a fingernail. That was as close as it gets on a pickoff attempt there. No argument from the Misericordia bench. I mean, it's one where you could use your challenge over there on that, your coach's review. Short mound conference between the catcher, Brock Bollinger, and Tyler Leonard, maybe to talk about how they are defending that running game with O'Kelly McWilliams, or possibly to talk about the plan of attack to Brandon Garcia. Garcia waiting impatiently, but now he'll get set and ready. Slightly open stance from the left-handed hitting sophomore from Durham, North Carolina. Waits on the 0-1. He gets it, pulls it to the first baseman. Came out of his glove, could be close at first, scrambles to get it back, dives to the bag, and they got Garcia by half a step. Good job by Jason Sanfilippo to stick with that. It was a ball that was hit well, popped out of his leather. He had to retrieve it, went away from the first base bag, snatched it up, and then dove to the sack to get Brandon Garcia by half a step. So excitement to end the inning. It's another inning where Lynchburg gets a base hit. They've got 9 of those, and the Hornets lead 2-1 through 6 complete. You are listening to the NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball Tournament on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. Division III World Series baseball action between the Lynchburg Hornets and the Misericordia Cougars. Kyle Hoehne having some fun with you on what has turned into not quite a Monday afternoon just yet. But hey, we're having fun. And Lynchburg has obviously been having fun here in an undefeated postseason run. And yes, it is 2-0 in play at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. The NCAA Division III National Championship is the preferred name, or maybe baseball championship even better. Curveball, ball 1 from Colin McGuire, who's still out there for Lynchburg to start the top of the 7th. McGuire got through the first 9 hitters in order, hit free, and then Misericordia starting to figure out McGuire just a little bit, and that one was figured out. This ball pulled down the right field line for a single from Joe Commons. Commons is aboard, his first hit of the day. It'll bring up Jason Sanfilippo, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Jason Sanfilippo hit a ball very deep to left field to end the second inning. That was one that Eddie Gimbel caught on the warning track in front of the left field foul pole. O'Kelly McWilliams made a deep grab in the left center gap earlier in this game. So Misericordia has hit a few balls with some distance. Nothing over the fence yet. They have done that in this tournament. Lynchburg has no homers, but 10 doubles for the Lynchburg offense that just keeps coming. Just so relentless for Lynchburg offensively. They're going to need to be relentless on defense right here. Sacrifice bunt. Pokerock will field from the catcher spot. Strong throw to first to get Sanfilippo for the out. So another sack bunt for Misericordia. That's their third of the ball game. And it brings up Andrew Van Horn. Van Horn floated a single over shortstop Brandon Garcia's head in his last at-bat. Grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. He had 2 hits off the bench for Misericordia against Lynchburg 2 days ago. This is the second meeting of the tournament between these squads. Lynchburg won the first contest 6-2. If you're looking for some close game numbers, both of these teams, as you would imagine, are really good in the close contest this year. Van Horn will foul this away. Lynchburg is 18-7 in games decided by 4 runs or less. Misericordia 19-8 in that same score margin. Lynchburg in 1-run ball games is 10-4. Misericordia 9-6. Cougars beat Christopher Newport in super regional play in 2 very close games. Lynchburg fans would remember the captains from CNU. Single base hit into the outfield. Runner coming home. No runner will stop. Lynchburg may have a play as the runner was in no man's land, but the ball kicked away from Sean Pokerock, and then that allows Joe Commons to get back to third base. Andrew Van Horn took second on the overthrow, so watch out. Misericordia is in business here. Really well hit ball by Van Horn. He's got 2 hits today. 6 total for the Cougars. And Lynchburg has had some guys getting loose in the bullpen. It looks like at the moment, Lynchburg's staying with Colin McGuire in a 2-1 ball game. There's 1 out. There are runners on second and third. And yeah, here comes assistant coach Michael Solbach. So once again, this means, probably anyway, that Colin McGuire is staying in. No rule that says the assistant coach can't make the pitching change, baseball fans, but you just haven't seen that from Lynchburg this year. It's been Travis Beasley coming out to make a change. Could be buying an arm, more time to get loose in that Lynchburg bullpen. And if you're Lynchburg, this is a tricky situation because even though you have the game to work with, it's not an elimination game for Lynchburg. It's not must win, but you want to make sure you can keep your bullpen intact and in order as much as possible in case you do have to go to the if necessary game. Misericordia is thinking about the same things, of course. Cougars have used 2 pitchers today. The starter, Lanzendorfer, who had been the closer all season through 70-plus innings to pitch, ended up, it looks like, facing 17 hitters. And then Tyler Leonard has taken the next time through the order here for Misericordia. He's kept Lynchburg relatively in check, hasn't allowed any runs. Looks like Lynchburg has 4 base hits off Tyler Leonard. Okay, corners are in for Lynchburg. Middle will stay back. Hornets do lead 2-1. Gabe Bunn is the hitter. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good slide and stop by the catcher, Sean Pokerock, but it's a 1-0 count. Gabe Bunn is the 8-hole hitter. He grounded into that double play, which was a feature in the top of the 5th inning. This pitch is low. 2-0 count. 9-hole hitter Owen Cordner has grounded out to the shortstop twice. He's waiting on deck. There's one out. You have to watch for a squeeze bunt with Misericordia. They did that to Endicott yesterday, and they've done it a lot this season. Bunn not bunting, not swinging either, and that ball is under the zone. 3-0 count. Cougar dugout starting to come alive. They were raucous and boisterous yesterday. You don't want a team like that to get momentum. You don't want any team to get momentum, right, baseball fans? But this is a Misericordia team that does seem to feed on momentum and energy. Lynchburg is the same. Hence the vibes, the good vibes. 3-1. McGuire did catch the target there. Here comes Bunn swinging. Jones has a line drive. Runner's going to get doubled off at second. Lynchburg turns another double play. That's like the slam dunk of defense right there. Runners on second and third. Cougars have the Hornets on the ropes a little bit. It's a well-hit ball, but right at Ben Jones, he catches, and the runner at second could not get back in time. It's another Lynchburg double play. Hornets lead holds 2-1. Lynchburg on top as it's time to stretch the legs a little bit here at Classic Park in Northeast Ohio. We are headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. Misericordia threatening in the top of the 7th, but Lynchburg turns another double play. This time the line drive variety as Gabe Bunn hits one hard at Ben Jones, who makes the catch and flips to his high school teammate Brandon Garcia. Runner at second can't get back in time. Lynchburg out of the inning, and the lead holds 2-1. Lynchburg on top. Here is that man again, Ben Jones. Stepping in with a 2-for-2 day working. Double, he did get thrown out third, trying to stretch it to a triple. How about Ben Jones have a 3-hit day? Yeah, bang on, Benton Jones. Bang on, my friend. A single this time. He'll retreat back to the bag and get some candy and congratulations from the assistant coach, Cam Lane. And here's Quinn Madden. Madden's 1 for 3 today. Ben Jones, 3 hits today and a walk. And that goes along with a double that he had against this team, Misericordia, on Saturday. Quinn Madden checking in, looking to do damage. First pitch to Madden is inside, called strike. Ben Jones will be a threat to run, of course, baseball fans. 14 of 18 in stolen bases this season. Madden hits with an 0-1 count. Sean Pokerock on deck. Pokey's got a 1-for-2 day happening with a walk in there as well. Quentin Madden off the end of the bat down the right side, but that's foul. 0-2. So maybe the better analogy rather than the slam dunk of defense would be like it's the pick six. You know, in football, the offense thinks they're going to score. Defense gets the interception, goes the other way. Misericordia thought they had Lynchburg on the ropes. Could be a double play here. Dive. Close play at second. Ben Jones is safe. Ben Jones hustling the whole way on contact. Feet first slide in the middle. Great effort there by Connor Marionak, the shortstop, to go behind the second base bag, lay out, catch the ball, and flip to the second baseman who is covering. I think Misericordia will be using one of their coaches' challenges here, and this is probably a good spot for it because it's a big play. It's a big moment. You really need that out there at second base. If this is not overturned, the situation will be runners on first and second with nobody out for Lynchburg. And we are in the bottom of the seventh, so it's getting late. That's the other concept here for the Cougars. They have not used the replay yet. It's use it or lose it. If you don't end up taking them, then you may regret that in hindsight. So I think a good move here by Misericordia to use one. Just first glance, it looked like Ben Jones was safe, but you never know. Sometimes the eyes will deceive you, especially out there at second base. It's the furthest bag away from my perspective up here in the press box at Classic Park, East Lake, Ohio, home to the Lake County Captains. This facility was built in 2003. It is a minor league park. 330 down the left and right field lines, 400 in dead center, and the power alleys sit between 360 and 370 feet away. We have seen some home runs, including by Misericordia. Walk-off home run by Wisconsin Whitewater yesterday to end Birmingham Southern's season. Birmingham Southern actually defeated Lynchburg's ODAC foe Randolph-Macon on a walk-off in a loser's bracket game that came back on Saturday. It's Monday, June 3rd, and Lynchburg's still playing baseball. A repeat from last year, as nobody was better in May and June last season than the Lynchburg Hornets, and so far, nobody's really been better than Lynchburg in May and June just yet anyway. Review is done. Call is confirmed. Ben Jones is safe at second. So you do have that situation that I described. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Lynchburg has Misericordia on the ropes again. Hornets lead 2-1. But insurance runs would be paramount. Maybe retirement policy runs is even a better term for that since we're working on our analogies. Sean Pokerock. 1 for 2. He struck out in his first at-bat, walked in his last at-bat. Lynchburg now has 11 hits. They're really swinging it well. Sean Pokerock, sacrifice bunt, gets the bat on it, but it's foul, and it's an 0-1 count. Lynchburg will use the sacrifice bunt as well. Quality team. They know how to do that. They know how to swing the bat, of course, but Lynchburg will do the little things. They'll play small ball. Notably, I think 4 bunts in a row against Bridgewater. Pokerock will try it again, and this one foul basically in the same spot, just kind of behind him and towards the Misericordia third base dugout. 0-2 count. Does Lynchburg bunt with two strikes like Garrett McElhaney did earlier in this game for the Cougars, putting down a really good 2-strike base hit bunt? Corners are still in for the Cougars. They're not giving up on the sack bunt yet. Jones leads off at second for Lynchburg. Madden at first. Here's the pitch from Tyler Leonard. Sean Pokerock, airborne, right side, floating. Garrett McElhaney's going to catch it. Ben Jones tagging, running. We could have a play at third. No, this time Ben Jones is in safely. Runners at first and third now with 1 out. So it's not a sacrifice bunt by Sean Pokerock. He would have preferred to get that down so both runners could advance. But certainly some value now in having runners at the corners with 1 out. And it's Josh Jorman. Jorman took over the spot that Eric Hyatt occupied. Hyatt ends the day 3 for 3. And so far in 3 games at Eastlake, Eric Hyatt is 6 for 9. Josh Jorman, more than capable. He'll be ready for this moment. Josh Jorman scored the game-winning run against Case Western Reserve. The walk-off, the Joe Munitz put the ball in play to the shortstop. Case defense really had no option. As Josh Jorman scored, he reached on a double to start that inning. And it looks like Tyler Leonard's afternoon is done. At least this game, we have that if necessary possibility. But Tyler Leonard, I thought, pitched well. He'll leave with his team trailing by 1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Runners at the corners for Lynchburg. And we'll just stick around and identify the new pitcher. We can tell you more and more of the fun stats that we come up with. All the live stats are online, and the season stats as well. It's a team offense for Lynchburg that's put together 11 hits in this ball game so far. So Lynchburg has used some great defense and some timely pitching, we'll say. And you got to say Misericordia has done the same to limit Lynchburg to just those 2 runs. 2 double plays from Lynchburg, man. Gabe Bunn has hit into both of them. 2 different varieties. One was your regular 6-4-3 twist in the middle. And then the most recent one was a ball that Bunn hit pretty hard to the second baseman, Ben Jones. But Jones was there to make the catch and flip to second to double off the runner. That ends top of the 7th. We are in the bottom of the 7th right now. Lynchburg looking to use that momentum. Still waiting on the announcement for the new pitcher. I can tell you it will be another left-hander for Misericordia. Lansendorfer started this game and went 70-plus pitches. Looks like it was over 60 for Leonard. The new pitcher will be number 17, Joe Valenti. Joe Valenti will enter in a 2-1 deficit, and he will face Josh Jorman. Left-on-left matchup here. Valenti is one of the key guys for Misericordia. On the season now, Joe Valenti has a 2.04 earned run average. He did start game 1 of this tournament through 99 pitches against Pomona Pitzer on Friday. So he's had a full 2 days off after those 99 pitches. You never know how that affects a pitcher. Each guy's different. But on Friday, Valenti went 6 innings strong, gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 3. This will be relief appearance number 2 on the season for Joe Valenti, so not a complete unknown. His record right now is 11-2. He's got a 2.04 earned run average. Batters hitting .233 off Joe Valenti. The hitter right now for Lynchburg will be Josh Jorman. So we're back to baseball here in just a moment. Runners on first and third, bottom of the 7th inning. Game 11 of the tournament, game 3 for Lynchburg, game 4 for Misericordia. Ben Jones singled. He's on third right now, part of a 3-hit day for Benton Jones. Sean Pokerock flew out to right. That's the only out of the inning so far. Madden leads off at first. Corners in. Bunt here by Josh Jorman. It's a successful squeeze for Lynchburg, and Jorman's going to get on first. The throw hit him. Madden going to third. Oh, it's all happening again for Lynchburg offensively. Ben Jones comes home to score on the first pitch squeeze play. And Josh Jorman was hustling down the line. The throw hit him in the back. Misericordia is going to ask the question, was Jorman out of the baseline going down to first? Right now, it's still runners on first and third with 1 out. Lynchburg has scored the 3rd run of the game. That run will count even if this call is overturned. Defense was not trying to make a play on Ben Jones going home. So Jones has scored. 3-1, Lynchburg leads. The question now, is it going to be just a runner on third with 2 outs, or will Gavin Collins be hitting with 2 on and 1 out? Umpires are meeting on the right side of the infield grass. It was the new pitcher, Valenti, who came off the slope to field the squeeze bunt. He definitely didn't he wasn't even thinking about going to home. Valenti had that internal clock. He knew there was no play at home to get the speedy Ben Jones. So Valenti wisely went to first, but the bunt was so good, it was near the first base line that when he came up and threw, his momentum took him right into the path of Josh Jorman streaking down the first base line. So the review is underway. Travis Beasley had something to say over there to the umpires. Umpires actually checking his lineup card. Maybe Coach Beasley and the Lynchburg Hornets are thinking about making a change somewhere. Don't see anything just yet. But it's a 3-1 ball game. Again, that run is going to stand. If this call is overturned, it'll just be an out. The run will still count for Lynchburg. The new pitcher, Valenti, Hadn't really gotten loose yet. He threw his warm-up tosses, obviously, and he was freshening up in the bullpen, but that was his first pitch of the game. Josh Jorman immediately applying some pressure to push that ball with a bunt down the right side, and Ben Jones came home to score on the planned squeeze play. So we'll wait here, and we will remind you that our broadcast is brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. They're proud to support Lynchburg baseball. They are like a family. They support each other with each and every win. Join a workplace where teamwork and family values shine. It's a great cause, too, benefiting the Alaskan Native population. Find your future at MIOScareers.com. MIOScareers.com. All right, the call has been overturned. Wait, they're going to send Ben Jones back to third? And Coach Travis Beasley is going to talk about this. Wow, this would be shocking to me, baseball fans. The play was at first. The ball hit Josh Jorman's back, and the umpires have overturned the initial safe call, and they're now saying Jorman was out because of a runner's interference situation being out of the baseline. How do you send Ben Jones back to third, though? There was no play on Benton Jones at third. I guess the umpires are saying you just recreate the scenario. The scorecard, the scorebook is in absolute shambles right now. Is Ben Jones going back to third? Oh, my goodness. Well, I got to study the rule book on that one, baseball fans. Yeah. Quinn Madden's going back to first. Ben Jones is going to third. There are runners at first and third now with 2 outs. They sent the runners back. Wow, that's. I mean, Ben Jones scored before Valenti even threw the ball to first. But apparently, the situation is recreated with the out, and the runners get sent back. All right, all is not lost for Lynchburg. You still got a really quality hitter in there in Gavin Collins. He's working with a 1-0 count. First time facing Valenti. Missed low and inside with what appeared to be an off-speed pitch. Set, closed, stanced. Gavin Collins is squared away there in the right-handed batter's box. He'll watch another breaking ball, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now. Runners on first and third. Jones at third. Madden at first. Thought Jones scored again. But I guess I need to reread my rule book. Comes the third pitch of the at-bat to Gavin Collins. Swing and a miss. And now our count should be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Could see some action here with Quinn Madden stealing at first. Good speed at both bases. Jones at third, Madden at first. Lynchburg has 11 hits in the ball game, but just 2 runs, and they had 1 wiped off the board there. See what Gavin Collins can do to change it. 2-strike pitch coming from Valenti. Madden is running, swing and a miss. They got Gavin Collins. What a turn of events. Lynchburg thought they were going to lead 3-1, but instead just a 1-run advantage right now after a call gets overturned. Maybe Misericordia with some momentum potentially. Cougars running out of time. We run to the top of the 8th inning here in Division III World Series action at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. Well, it's another multi-hit inning for the Lynchburg offense. They've got 11 in the ball game right now, and they have a 2-1 lead, but we all thought it was going to be at least 1 run more there. Josh Jorman put down a squeeze bunt against the new pitcher. Throw was made to first. Ball hit Jorman's back. Ben Jones scored even before that from third base. Ball hits Jorman's back. Initial call is he's safe. We're thinking it's going to be runners on first to third with one out in a 3-1 game. But that changed when the call was overturned. Jorman was called out. Runners were sent back. And here we are in the top of the 8th inning. Lynchburg clinging to the 2-1 advantage. Lynchburg's had some momentum-busting defensive plays of their own. Make no mistake about that. 2 double plays in this ball game. Owen Cordner is the 9-hole hitter facing the Lynchburg starter, Colin McGuire. So another game where Lynchburg's gotten 7+ innings from their starter. 0-1 count as McGuire spins a breaking ball across the plate on the first pitch. Corners are in for Lynchburg. Cordner swings at a second pitch curveball, comes up empty, and now he's in an 0-2 hole. Hornets will have 7, 8, 9 due up in their half of the 8th inning. Looking for more of that insurance stuff. This one floated into center field. O'Kelly McWilliams has a bead on it. He'll call the rest of the defenders off, catch, and flip back to the infielders, and it's the first out of the inning. It brings up the right fielder, Garrett McElhaney. He's 2 for 3. 6 hits now in the tournament for McElhaney. Misericordia, of course, has played 1 extra game. They had to play yesterday. And that's back to, it's so key to win those first 2 games because you get a day off. You get to rest that pitching for Misericordia and for Wisconsin Whitewater on the other side of the bracket. It's just become such an uphill climb when you've had to use more pitchers to eat up that extra 9 innings or more, potentially. There is 1 out now in the top of the 8th inning. McGuire looks strong, just a first-year man. And we've said that the bar set by guys like Wes Arrington and Nick Matfield is very, very high, but McGuire is really close to it here, isn't he? He's allowed 1 run on 6 hits. McElhaney's got 2, looking for a third here, but O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th, is patrolling center field, and he'll grab a looping line drive out of the air for the 2nd out of the inning. Really tough for hitters right now because you've gotten a lot of looks at Colin McGuire. It's Jack Regine's 4th at bat coming up here, 4th time through the order for Misericordia. So you've gotten some looks at Colin McGuire. You want to go after him early, but then you help the starter keep his pitch count down when you do things like that. Breaking ball just off the plate, 1-0 start for Jack Regine, who is 0 for 1 with 2 sack bunts. Won't be a sacrifice bunt here, but it could be a base hit bunt. That's why Lynchburg has the corners in on the infield grass. Middle straightaway, outfield straightaway as well. Slightly shallow on Jack Regine, a junior that hits 274 on the season. Start number 51 for him. Swings on this and yanks it through the hole. That's past the dive of shortstop Brandon Garcia. So Regine's got his first hit of the ball game, and it's a 2-out hit for Misericordia. It'll bring up Brock Bollinger. Brock Bollinger has 4 home runs on the season. He hits .352 coming into this game. Connor Marianac is the home run leader with 13. He waits on deck. So it's a pressure spot here still for Lynchburg. And the tying run is on first in the top of the 8th inning. Go-ahead run in the batter's box in the form of Brock Bollinger. Bollinger's 0 for 3 off of Colin McGuire, excuse me. And I was wrong there because Brock Bollinger has a sacrifice fly. He's the only RBI in the game for Misericordia. So he's actually 0 for 2. He's flown out to right twice, one of those being that sac fly. And he's grounded out to the third baseman, Gavin Collins. Collins is back now. Bollinger not much of a base hit bunt threat. He is the catcher. Starts with the hands back, which is something you don't see quite as much from hitters nowadays. Couple pickoff tosses to keep an eye on Jack Regine. Good idea. He's got 25 stolen bases on the season. They've got Bollinger played to pull. McGuire peeled off a first pitch slider, and it's ball 1. Lynchburg leading 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning. So much excitement in this ball game. It does feel like it's building to a thrilling finish. Pickoff attempt from McGuire. Runner back safely. A Lynchburg team that is proving that the seeds do not matter. They came in as the 8th seed in this tournament. They were the 4th seed in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference tournament. Regine running. High fastball. Good throw from Sean Pokerock. Regine was safe anyway. Then the ball sort of popped out of Ben Jones' glove. Jones tried to go reapply a tag on Regine, but he was able to anchor himself to the bag on a good slide. 2-0 count. So the danger increases here for Lynchburg defensively. Pitchers continue to get loose in that Hornet bullpen. No activity at the moment in the Misericordia bullpen. McGuire, the 2-0. Swung on, hit up the middle. A dive from Ben Jones into the glove of Brandon Garcia. He'll throw home. They're going to get the runner at home. Pokerock missed him on the tag. He got around the tag. Jack Regine got around the tag. And Lynchburg is saying that the runner was out of the baseline. Regine did go way on the infield side towards the mound on the throw home. It was a ball that bounced up the middle. Ben Jones dove. It deflected off of Ben Jones' glove into Brandon Garcia's glove, who was heading in the same direction. Garcia picked it up, tossed home. The throw was slightly off target. Sean Pokerock had to go make the catch, and then as he went to go tag Jack Regine, Regine went around, missed the plate initially. They did the thing where both guys are diving at the edge of the plate. Pokey with the ball in his glove, Regine with the outstretched free hand, and he was ruled safe. I give Regine a lot of credit. I mean, there's not much else you can try right there. And in a one-run game, you have to try something if you're Misericordia. If the call stands, it will be a tie ball game, 2-2. It says 2-2 on the scoreboard right now. And there would be 2 outs with a runner on first. Brock Bollinger, nice piece of hitting to go up the middle. But Ben Jones and Brandon Garcia teamed up to keep that ball close enough to have a play at the plate. Travis Beasley, the head coach for Lynchburg, asking, did Regine go out of the baseline? And I will say that Regine went pretty far out. It's just going to be a question of, do you see something on replay that shows you how far he went out of the baseline? If the call stands, it's a tie ball game. And if the call is overturned, you're going to have to say this is big momentum for Lynchburg again. They would still lead 2-1 going into the bottom of the 8th inning. We're still in the top of the 8th right now, in what at the moment is a 2-2 game if the call stands. It's a couple that Lynchburg fans probably felt like they've been dealt a bad hand on. A couple calls that have not gone their way, as Josh Jorman put down a successful squeeze bunt, but then that call is overturned. They say Jorman was out of the baseline on that one. So we'll wait on the replay. And I can take the time to remind you that you are listening to NCAA Division III baseball championship action here, the World Series, and it's all on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. Visit MIOScareers.com. LynchburgSports.com is the destination for all the information and the excitement, the media content. The LHSN team has been working overtime here in East Lake to get you some great audio, video, still pictures, the writing. It's all covered. We've got it covered from all the angles. We hope you're enjoying it. Check in on the Lynchburg Hornets social media. And heck, revisit last year's run while you're at it, or revisit the first 12 games of this postseason run. And I keep trying to remind myself and other fans, let's just make sure we enjoy every game, regardless of what happens. Enjoy this delicious baseball dish that Lynchburg offers up every time they play. It's not that the regular season was unexciting by any means. Lynchburg had some highs and lows in that regular season. Playoff time, it's been mostly highs. Hasn't always been easy now. In East Lake, Lynchburg has not trailed yet. They did have to come from behind a couple times in the Super Regional. Played from behind some in another postseason game or two, but for the most part, Lynchburg's putting their best foot forward, scoring early, scoring often, and some late explosions as well. Umpires got the head set off. Short conversation with the other crew member that went over to the right side of foul territory. The replay action booth is right beside the Lynchburg dugout. Call is safe. Call is confirmed. Runner is safe. That is not going to make Travis Beasley happy. And you can understand why. It's back-to-back that have not gone Lynchburg's way. Now, one thing the coaches will do right here is try to keep everybody focused, because that's what can happen. You can lose focus. Lynchburg will make a pitching change, by the way. It is easy to lose focus right here. When you're Lynchburg, you think 2 calls have not gone your way. That can turn into the snowball for a team like Misericordia, who, as documented, feeds off emotion and momentum. We will get a pitching change. Colin McGuire is going to come out and greet the high fives and handshakes from the teammates who walk out of the dugout in support, and McGuire deserves the praise. He will exit having thrown 7 2/3 innings. He gave up 2 runs on 8 hits. Some bad luck, and you have to also admit some good luck for Lynchburg. Remember, Bunn hit a line drive right at Ben Jones that turned into a double play. Misericordia probably thought they had some runs there. Another Lynchburg double play in the 5th inning. Avoided some damage. So both teams have had their share of breaks, good and bad. And that's what you expect at this stage of the game. As Travis Beasley makes the pitching change and then goes back to the umpire to have another chat about that play there at the end. Or not the end, but the most recent play in the ball game. The new pitcher will be Mason McDowell. He will enter in a tie game with a runner on first, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Misericordia has scored 1. Lynchburg is the home team, so they're scheduled to have 2 more whacks at it. 6 outs left for the Lynchburg offense in regulation anyway. And now it's a tie ball game. Now it's a tie game. As a hitter, I'm not sure it changes your game plan significantly for Lynchburg, but as a coach, brings a few other things into play. Mason McDowell has been brought into play. This outstanding sophomore right-hander has had to put out some fires in his career, and he has a wealth of postseason experience that he will be drawing on. Mason McDowell's numbers as of late have been really, really good. He is a sophomore right-hander from Fishersville, Virginia. Last season, he played in 20 games for Lynchburg. It was 17 pitching appearances, and his first career save came on the biggest stage, June 2nd, in Lynchburg's opening World Series contest against Wisconsin lacrosse. So Mason McDowell was a guy last season who, going into that playoff run, didn't have a ton of experience, but by the end of it, he probably felt like a grizzled veteran. McDowell last pitched 1 inning at Laverne, the Leopards in Southern California. That was back on May 25th. He did surrender 1 hit, but no earned runs. McDowell threw 2 innings. It was 6 batters faced, 6 batters sent down against Case Western Reserve. That game was back on May 19th. Mason McDowell will be ready for the opportunity right here. McDowell on the season is 1-1 with 3 saves. This will be pitching appearance number 21, all out of the bullpen for the sophomore righty, Mason McDowell. First pitch to a really good hitter, by the way, Connor Marionac. Marionac on the season swings it at .354, 13 home runs. He's driven in 70, 5 triples, 10 doubles. Runner at first is Brock Bollinger. The catcher bounced the ball up the middle that deflected off of Ben Jones' glove into Brandon Garcia's hands. He threw home. Throw was slightly wide. Sean Pokerock tried to tag the runner out, but missed, and then Jack Regine beat him to home plate on a dive after he outran home plate. Marionac still waiting. A couple pickoff tosses over to first base to keep an eye on Brock Bollinger. Catcher will run, 18 steals on the year. First pitch, swung on, ripped foul by Marionac. Joe Commons is on deck. He's 1 for 3. No Misericordia hitters have faced Mason McDowell yet. As Colin McGuire, freshman starter for Lynchburg, took the ball into the 8th inning. Got 2 outs in the 8th. The shift is on against Marionac. Ben Jones, the second baseman, has played behind second base. Brandon Garcia a few steps to the right of what his normal positioning would be. To our left, actually, Garcia's right. That's in the hole there between second and third. Tony Gwynn used to call that the 5.5 hole. Third baseman is number 5 in the scorekeeping stuff. Fastball, first pitch strike, runner going. That ball skips into second base
And the steal is successful for Brock Bollinger. Misericordia's got the go-ahead run in scoring position. Tie ball game 2-2. That was a called strike. It's an 0-2 count for Mason McDowell on Connor Marionette. See if McDowell stays with the sizzling fastball or if it's time to snap off something with some bend to it. McDowell checks the pitch comm device on his wrist and gets set. The 0-2 on the way. McDowell. Oh, he tried to paint that edge, and he was awfully close. But it's a ball. 1-2. Both dugouts and crowds coming alive as expected. High tension right here. High pressure environment. High excitement, too. McDowell looking at the runner. Here's the 1-2. Oh, he missed the corner again. Another one that was so close. That one could have been low. Sean Pokerrock's going to turn the head back and check with the umpire just where that one was. 2-2. McDowell made a couple great pitches there. Shouldn't have really anything to feel bad about. Sean Pokerrock's going to take a mound visit. I think he wants to make sure the moment doesn't escape this Lynchburg team. And that is, again, back to that momentum. When you feel like you had some calls go against you, it sometimes can be difficult to stay focused. So that's what the great coaches are there for. Yes, there's the technical advice. There's the strategy, those things. But the great coaches can help make sure the moment doesn't get too big. Make sure things don't speed up for your team. Make sure you don't live in the past and worry about other things that have happened. Make sure you stay focused on the next play. This pitch right here. It's the most important one in baseball. The pitch that's happening right now. Michael Solbach, assistant coach, did come out of the mound to do the exact same thing and get in on this conversation here on top of the hill between Pokerrock and McDowell. Mason McDowell made two really good pitches there. And they were both very, very close. You got to make sure that you don't, again, worry about those calls. Make sure you can just focus on this next pitch. Make another good one. Hope you get the call from the umpire or maybe a swing from Connor Marionette, who is a good hitter. He's 1 for 3 today. McDowell's ready. The pitch. Runner going. That ball's in the dirt. Sean Pokerrock blocked that up. Had to put his body on the line to keep that one in front. Bollinger is at third now, and it's a full count. Mason McDowell has the baseball back. He's ready. Infield has the big shift on. Josh Jorman is midway through first base and second base. He'll have to hustle to get back on the ground ball. Here it comes. McDowell hit him. Hit by pitch by Mason McDowell, who, again, probably thought he had a strikeout, but you got to reset. You got to maintain the focus. Not saying that McDowell lost focus. Again, don't always want to do the cause and effect thing because sometimes bad pitches just happen. Control can be elusive in the game of baseball. There are runners on first and third now with 2 outs. The threat is still on here for the Cougars. Oh, pitching change coming. Mason McDowell is just going to face the one hitter. Time for a new arm to tackle Joe Commons. Let's step aside and catch our breath, and we will figure out who the wing coming in out of the bullpen for the Lynchburg Hornets is. It's a 2-2 ball game. 2 on in the top of the 8th for Misericordia. Back in a flash on LHSN. It's just a one-batter outing for Mason McDowell as he passes the baton to Austin Riney. Sophomore left-hander is in the ball game to face Joe Commons, a left-handed hitter for Misericordia. There are 2 outs, 2 on in a 2-2 ball game here. We are in the top of the 8th inning at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. It's the NCAA Division III National Championship on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS.
This is an elimination game for the Cougars. They have played like it. They have played with inspiration and fight. They have been ready. Lynchburg has been ready as well, but the situation is slightly different for the Hornets. Not a must-win for Lynchburg. They need to win one of two today. Should Misericordia take this game, we will have that, if necessary, game 13 on your bracket if you're following at home. And the if necessary game is slated for a 4:45 first pitch today. That could be adjusted, of course, because Salve Regina and Wisconsin Whitewater will be playing after these two teams. Lynchburg has scored their 2 runs on 11 hits. They have at least 1 base hit in every inning, the Hornets offense, and they've got multiple base hits in 3 innings. Lynchburg with 11 hits total, and it looks like the Hornets have left 10 on base and 6 of those in scoring position. So Lynchburg has been getting runners on. Hornets offense, resourceful as always, has drawn 2 walks. Pitching has been solid for Misericordia. Lynchburg's pitching has been great as well. Colin McGuire got into this 8th inning. He'll get credit for 7 2/3 innings. Mason McDowell faced 1 hitter, and then he gives way to Austin Hoehne. Hoehne has been great in postseason play. If you're Lynchburg, make sure you've got your 1st to 3rd steal coverage figured out, because the Cougars like to do the small ball thing. And when you've got teams in a vice grip and under pressure like Misericordia has Lynchburg now, then some of those stolen bases and bunts become even tougher to defend. Here comes the first pitch from Austin Hoehne. He kicks and deals. Called strike 1. Lynchburg will let the runner have second base. That was a planned no throw right there by the Lynchburg defense. It does put 2 in scoring position for Misericordia. The hitter is Joe Commons. He's 1 for 3. All those at-bats off of the starter, Colin McGuire. Hoehne looks at the wrist communication device, looking in at Sean Pokerock now. Corners are still in for Lynchburg. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and sent foul, and it's an 0-2 count. No balls and 2 strikes. Lynchburg is 22-8 away from Fox this year. Now, not all of those are listed as road games or away games. This is falling into the neutral site category. But Lynchburg's 9-2 in those as well. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and flared foul. Good piece of hitting by Joe Commons to stay alive. Went after the outside fastball. Now, if you're Lynchburg, you might be thinking about expanding the zone, is the phrase you will hear from pitching coaches and pitchers and catchers. If he offered it one outside, let's go even further out on this next one. See if Lynchburg does it. Hoehne did go there, and it's another foul ball. So if you're Lynchburg, you keep telling the catcher, slide even more out. Hey, the first one was 2 balls off the plate. The next one was 3 or 4. Just go 5 balls off the plate if he wants to keep swinging at it. And maybe you can get him swinging and missing, or maybe he takes it and you then set up something on the inner half of the plate. Another 0-2 on the way from Hoehne. Put in play. Flared down the left field line. Gavin Collins is there. He'll catch the pop-up. So we are tied. 2-2 ball game. Misericordia gets 1 in the 8th under strange circumstances. Austin Hoehne does his job, though. Nice job to come in and pump some strikes. 5 of them from the sophomore, Austin Hoehne. Let's see how the Lynchburg offense responds in the bottom of the 8th inning. You're listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Lynchburg has their first-year star, Joe Munitz, coming to bat to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a tie ball game now. Lynchburg's been tied 0-0 in this D3 World Series in East Lake, but they have never trailed. Just 2 games of a sample size to work with there, but it tells you what kind of trip it's been for Lynchburg. They've been on top and in charge, and most of the postseason has been that way as well. Some late explosions in there for Lynchburg. Laverne, California comes to mind, doesn't it? Hornets fans that have been watching and listening a lot. 1-1 count here on Joe Munitz. He could use a jump start right here. Joe Munitz will pull one down the line, but foul into the Lynchburg bullpen. It's a 1-2 count. So Colin McGuire goes 7 2/3 for Lynchburg. Looks like McGuire faces 39 hitters. Mason McDowell threw to Connor Marianac, ended up hitting him on a bat where he got to an 0-2 count and probably thought he struck Marianac out a couple times with really good pitches. But just one batter for McDowell, and then one batter for Austin Riney, who got Joe Commons to pop out to the third base side. There is a new third baseman for Misericordia. Number 2, Josh Berger goes in. He'll bat 9th in the order, at least we think anyway. He's in that spot right now. 2-2 to Joe Munitz. The pitch in the dirt. Good hold by Munitz. And now it's a full count. Eddie Gimble waiting on deck. 1 for 3. Successful base hit bunt for E.G. Eddie Gimble. We're in the bottom of the 8th. There's nobody on, nobody out. Munitz will swing, put this ball in play, right side. High hopper to the second baseman. Challenging hop, actually. Munitz nearly beat it at first, but he is out. An 0 for 4 day right now for Joe Munitz. I think he's still got confidence, but never great when you go a long stretch without getting a hit. He's grounded out to the second baseman 3 times in this game. Munitz has struck out once. Eddie Gimble is up with 1 out, none on. Gimble has struck out. Hit a ball hard to the third baseman for an out in his first at bat, and then had the base hit bunt sandwiched in there. Defense ready for that. New third baseman Berger is in. This ball pushed into the bleachers on the right side. So the next pitch Eddie Gimble sees will be an 0-1 delivery from Valenti, who is still out there for Misericordia. He started game 1 and threw 99 pitches. Swing and a miss from Eddie Gimble. Number 17, Joe Valenti. Great numbers on the season for Joe Valenti, and his arm appears to be ready. It is a left arm, southpaw, fires off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Valenti got into the K strut there. He was 1 foot on the grass, walking towards the third base side. He'll get the ball back, hands set below the belt. He's in the windup, defense straight away. 8-hole hitter is Eddie Gimble. Here comes the 1-2. That's upstairs. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our score is even. Lynchburg 2, Misericordia 2. Lynchburg got their 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, zeros in every other frame, although Lynchburg does have hits in every inning. Nothing in the 8th yet. Eddie Gimble trying to change it, sprays this one on a line into the bleachers. So we'll try it again at 2-2 with 1 out, none on. Bottom of the 8th inning in a 2-2 ball game. If Lynchburg wins, they move on to that championship series Wednesday. Eddie Gimble, another foul ball. Good fight right here from Gimble. He's a senior. You expect it. You love it. Misericordia, if they win, we'll do this again around 4:45. The if necessary game will become necessary. Lynchburg hadn't played in one yet. They are 4-0 in closeout opportunities. Games where they have a chance to end the squad's season in this playoff run. Lynchburg is an undefeated 4-0 in those situations. Bridgewater, Roanoke, Case Western, and Laverne. Eddie Gimble's got a 2-hit day. Nice job by Eddie Gimble to stay on that one and just rip it right past the shortstop. So Lynchburg does have a hit in every inning. 1 here in the 8th so far. Eddie Gimble is aboard in a 2-2 ball game with O'Kelly McWilliams stepping in. He's 1 for 3 today with a strikeout. Has yet to face Valenti. In fact, Valenti, this will be the 5th hitter he has thrown to. Love that from Eddie Gimble. You just absolutely have to love that. It's his only start, number 13 of the season for Eddie Gimble. He is getting it done when it matters most. And think about it for Lynchburg fans. This is game 52. Gimble started less than half at 13. He's played in less than half. The 0-1 to O'Kelly McWilliams is true, and now it's an 0 ball and 2 strikes situation for Ivy. He's having a good trip here in Eastlake. See if he can keep it going. Tough pitcher to do it against. John Valenti. Oh, Eddie Gimble got picked. Eddie Gimble's going to try to stay in a run down. He'll hustle to second. Now he's on his way back to first. Couple throws here. He'll try to get around to slide. Couldn't do it. Gimble is out. Gimble is out. Joe Valenti is a left-handed pitcher, and he appeared to feature a really good pickoff move. In a tie ball game, Gimble could have been running. There is, again, some importance in getting into scoring position. No doubt about that. But Eddie Gimble did not want to get picked off at first base. There's 2 outs now. And 2 strikes on O'Kelly McWilliams. He stays alive with a slash on a high fastball. Bases are clear now with 2 outs. So more momentum for Misericordia. You have to say the Cougars, despite hitting into 2 double plays, lately in innings 7 and 8, have had a bit more momentum. See if it keeps up. Valenti, the 0-2, in the dirt. Watchful eye of O'Kelly McWilliams will bring our count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leadoff man Brandon Garcia is on deck. Hollywood's 0 for 4. Expect that to change. McWilliams waits on the 1-2. Check swing, didn't go. And that is confirmed by the first base umpire. Good block by Brock Bollinger to keep that close in case McWilliams did offer. Sunny skies now. Started as an overcast day when we had first pitch at 10 a.m., brunch and baseball. Now we are into the afternoon here. Monday afternoon, June 3rd. The 2-2 to McWilliams puts this in play. Down the right line. It's going to be a long run. It's now in the Lynchburg bullpen. Garrett McElhaney will make the catch beyond the Lynchburg warm-up mound over there in foul territory. We head to the top of the 9th. We've got ourselves a tie ball game, and it's a doozy. You're listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Austin Riney will stay on to tackle this Misericordia batting order. They'll throw 6, 7, 8 at the Hornets in the top of the 9th inning. It's a 2-2 ball game. Kyle Hoehne, loving my time with you. And we'll see if Lynchburg's undefeated postseason run continues or if Misericordia can keep their season alive a game longer. Once again, the situation is not a must-win for Lynchburg. They won the first 2 games in bracket 1, the upper part of the bracket. So they've got a game to work with here. Misericordia does have a loss. It's double elimination until you get to the championship series. Then all that is erased, which can be confusing. If you get to the championship series, it's a best 2 out of 3 against the winner of the lower bracket. First pitch from Austin Riney is a ball. Jason Sanfilippo is the hitter. He's 0 for 1 with a sac bunt and a walk. Flew out to deep left field. Lynchburg got a hit. Eddie Gimble put a ball in play to the left side that last inning, but got picked off. So in the 8th, it's no runs on 1 hit, none stranded, and no errors from the Cougars. Lynchburg has not had an error in this ball game. Defensively, Misericordia has their 2 runs on 8 hits. Cougars have left 6 stranded, 4 of those in scoring position. In 2 last inning, including 2 last inning, where Austin Riney came in. Did a nice job to get Joe Commons to pop out. 3-1 count. Another close one didn't go Lynchburg's way. They thought they had a called strike coming right there. Displeasure vocally noticeable from the Lynchburg dugout. Riney does pound the zone with a fastball, and now it's a full count to Jason Sanfilippo. Andrew Van Horn is on deck. He's 2 for 3 in this ball game. He had 2 hits against Lynchburg off the bench Saturday. Payoff from Riney up the middle. Garcia's going to dive for it in the glove. Throws from the knees, but it's not in time. Great effort from Brandon Garcia. That'll go down as an infield single for Jason Sanfilippo. And the go-ahead run is aboard here in the top of the ninth for Misericordia. Andrew Van Horn is a first-year DH, grounded out to the second baseman. That's the only out he's made against Lynchburg hitters. Van Horn steps in. Still might be the sacrifice bunt here for Misericordia, even though they have a very, very hot hitter at the plate. Van Horn will try to bunt. It's sent backwards and foul. 2-2 game. Runner on first with nobody out. That runner is Jason Sanfilippo. He's 8 for 10 stealing bases this season. Hoehne will not throw. He'll instead throw a pickoff attempt on Sanfilippo. Josh Jorman is the first baseman for Lynchburg. He's joined on the right side by second baseman, sophomore Ben Jones. Brandon Garcia is the shortstop. Gavin Collins, the third baseman. Sean Pokerock still catching. Oh, that's a bunt attempt that actually hit the umpire. I think he's okay. And it'll be an 0-2 count on Andrew Van Horn. Offensive timeout coming again for Misericordia. We've seen one of these in this game. And I'm sure the chat is with Andrew Van Horn deciding, do we still bunt with 2 strikes? How much confidence do you have? Can you get the bunt in fair territory? Or maybe you got your hit and run. Your running game concepts will be discussed possibly as well. The umpires don't let you have forever on those offensive timeouts, but you can discuss 3 or 4 different things when you're in there. And maybe more, but you don't want to overcomplicate it as a coach. Lynchburg in the outfield. Eddie Gimble still in left. O'Kelly McWilliams in center. Quinn Madden in right field. Very good on the outer defenses for Lynchburg this season, much like last year. And defensively all the way around, the Hornets are sound. Oh, so sound. Lynchburg has now turned 38 double plays this season. The 0-2 from Austin Hoehne. Not yet. Pickoff attempt. Tension time here at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. Yes, you have a game to play with if you're Lynchburg. You do not have to win, but you, again, don't want to give that other team momentum. And once they win the game, well, that if necessary game, it's the same for both squads at that point. It's not like a 7-game World Series where you get up 2 or 3 games, then you really have a cushion. If you lose that first game and the if necessary game becomes necessary, well, it's basically the same situation for both squads, although Misericordia has had to play an extra game. They were in the loser's bracket. They beat Endicott yesterday. While I was telling you that, Andrew Van Horn did try the sack bunt, and he fouled it off, so that goes down as a K. That's a strikeout for Austin Hoehne and the first out of the inning. So there's the danger. It's a double-edged sword. We saw Garrett McElhaney push down a successful 2-strike base hit bunt in this game. That time, Andrew Van Horn was trying to sacrifice bunt and did not execute. 1 out on the board, 2-2 game. Hoehne will pick again. Josh Jorman fields a head-high throw and flings it right back to his pitcher. Lynchburg bullpen has been a cavalcade of activity over there, and there are more pitchers warming up for Lynchburg in the pen down the right field line. Bullpens are in play in foul territory here at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. Sunshine now, temperature over 70. Really a great afternoon to watch baseball. Started as overcast and a little chilly. Gabe Bunn is the hitter. Gabe Bunn is one of those guys that has had some bad luck today. He lined into the double play that ended a threat. He also grounded into a double play that didn't end the inning, but the next hitter swung at the first pitch, and the inning was over after that. First pitch to Bunn. Low, just barely in the dirt. Scooped by Sean Pokerock. 1 ball, no strikes. Lynchburg offensively, it'll be the top of the order here in the bottom of the ninth. Lynchburg is the home team. 1-2-3 with Garcia, Jones, and Madden. Doesn't get much better than that, I'd say. This ball put in play. Runner was going. Gavin Collins on the move. He'll look at second. Instead, throw to first. Scooped out of the dirt by Josh Jorman for the second out of the inning. Good job by Collins, again, to move on the run and know his options right there. Thought about going to second for the double play, but the fact that Sanfilippo was running on the pitch made that impossible. So Collins did the next best thing, throw across and get an out at first base. 2 down, runner on second.
The hitter is another new hitter, pinch hitter in the ball game. Josh Berger was playing third base for Owen Cordner, but now you're going to get another new face for Misericordia. And it looks like this is Jared Hoffman. Jared Hoffman started the first game against Lynchburg. Started the first game against Lynchburg, I should say. He was the designated hitter. He's a pinch hitter here with a go-ahead run on second base. Breaking ball, strike one. Little backdoor variety there from Austin Hoehne. Starts that in the other batter's box, bends it back in over the outside corner. Hoehne is a southpaw sophomore. He's been outstanding this season. He'll spin and throw to second to keep Jason Sanfilippo close. Lynchburg, as a team, postseason ERA under 2.5. They gave up 2 runs in both of their games so far in East Lake in the D3 World Series. They could walk it off 3-2 next inning if they hold Misericordia right here. Speaking of holds, Sean Pokerock tried to frame and hold that one for the umpire to see that it was a low strike, but instead, it's ball one. Jared Hoffman, right-handed hitter, big guy too. Hoehne, long hold, looks in, set at the chest. He'll spin and pick off again. Runner is safe at second. Love it when these close games come down to a thrilling finish. Doesn't make it easy on the old ticker and the blood pressure. Lynchburg's had some comeback wins. This is a tie ball game. The 1-1. Called strike two. Nice location that time from Hoehne. He's gone away a few times. That one was up and in. And I believe by design. I think Hoehne's pinpoint right now. Let's see if he can do it again. Sean Pokerock. Low away target. Hoehne set, kicks and deals. This ball's up the middle. This ball's through. Base hit. McWilliams coming on. Will there be a play at the plate? O'Kelly throws. It was bobbled slightly at home by Sean Pokerock. Don't think he would have got Sanfilippo anyway. Lynchburg is trailing for the first time in this trip to East Lake. Misericordia on top, 3-2, trying to force the if necessary game. Now Lynchburg would be coming from behind. It would be a come from behind win. And the danger's not done here either, by the way, as there's still a runner in scoring position for the top of the Misericordia lineup. It's the ultra-talented Garrett McElhaney stepping in. He is 2 for 4 today with a double. McElhaney came into the game hitting .384. He's driven in 29 himself and scored 65 times this season. It's a 3-2 Misericordia lead. Lynchburg really on the ropes now. Top of the ninth, there's just a runner on second. Still very important, though, if you're Lynchburg. Harder to come back from 2 down, right? That math seems obvious. McElhaney, inside fastball, pinpoint again from Austin Hoehne. Good pitch. I think Hoehne's last pitch was really quality. It was just a solid piece of hitting from the pinch hitter Jared Huffman, who was actually the starting DH on Saturday. 0-1 from Hoehne, sprayed foul. Good job by Austin Hoehne to not let that previous event bother him. We've said Lynchburg has had some breaks go against them, and you don't know how much it bothers each individual player. You can't get in that head. You don't know how much each guy feels the pressure. There is definitely a lot of that. And tension, high drama too. Hoehne got him swinging. Pokey held on. Let's wait for the call. Finally called a strike. Misericordia's going to ask if they can review, but that's how the top of the ninth will end. Lynchburg needs 1 to tie and send it to extras. They need 2 to walk it off. I'm going to hold right here, though, because Misericordia is hanging out. They think they can review this. Was that ball caught or not cleanly by Sean Pokerock? Remember the ruling there, fans. With 2 strikes, a batted foul tip can be caught cleanly by the catcher for strike 3. And really any foul tip, even before 2 strikes, is actually in play. So sometimes you'll see where a runner steals, it's a foul tip into the catcher's glove, and he will still try to throw the runner out. That's a live ball on a foul tip, which is differentiated in the rule book from a foul ball. Umps have got together, call confirmed. So Misericordia will take the field trying to hold on to a 1-run advantage against the Lynchburg Hornets. We'll stay here and remind you that you are listening to NCAA Division III Baseball, the national championships from Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio, on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS,
Visit mioscareers.com to learn more. It looks like Joe Valenti stepping back out to the mound. He got a win on Friday for Misericordia in a 6-3 victory over Pomona Pitzer. He'll be looking for his second win of the tournament. Joe Valenti, left-handed senior, will step back up and try to lock down a one-run lead and a one-run victory for Misericordia and force that if-necessary game. That would take place later on this afternoon, scheduled for 4:45. I don't necessarily think we're going to meet that start time, but we'll keep you up. We'll keep you up to date, too. Appreciate you tuning in. It means so much to us, and we know they're listening all over the U.S., especially in Central Virginia, of course. One defensive change being announced for Misericordia. Don't think we'll see changes in the Lynchburg batting order because they've got 1, 2, 3 due up. It's Brandon Garcia, Ben Jones, Quinn Madden, and if you need to go further, it'll be Sean Pokerock and Josh Jorman. Gavin Collins hitting 6th. Here's Brandon Garcia, stepping in to get to the bottom of the 9th started. Lynchburg undefeated in postseason play. Top rail fastball for strike 1 from Joe Valenti. A starter by trade, but when you're in the loser's bracket like Misericordia and you're trying to fight your way out, got to go with whatever you got. This ball floated shallow right field. Long run for the right fielder, Garrett McElhaney, but he'll make the grab. Brandon Garcia turns right, heads back into the dugout. Frustrated sophomore. Get rid of the helmet quickly. It will bring up his high school teammate, Ben Jones. Well, how about Ben Jones' day? 3 for 3 with a walk. He was thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple. There is one out in the bottom of the 9th. Lynchburg down to their final 2. The first pitch to Jones. Thought about it. Didn't pull the trigger. And it's a called strike. Looked to be off speed there from Joe Valenti. Misericordia is probably trying to figure out how to get Ben Jones out. Jones high and deep into right field. This ball's going to stay in the ballpark. McElhaney in trouble. He lost it. And the ball's going to bounce out of the ballpark. Oh! What a strange turn of events. Garrett McElhaney has been rock solid in right field for Misericordia, but it was either the wind or the sun or perhaps the center fielder, Jack Regine, coming over. One or more of those 3 factors bothered Garrett McElhaney enough. He lost it. The ball bounced once on the warning track and then skipped out of play. It's a ground rule double for Ben Jones. His monster day continues. Ben Jones is the tying run in scoring position for Quinn Madden. Quinn Madden, 60-plus RBI on the season. 67 and counting. Off-speed pitch, nowhere close. 1-0 count for Quinn Madden. This guy called his Hornets teammates, the Cardiac Kids, earlier this season. Comeback time again for Lynchburg. Got a runner on second with 1 out. Long hold from Valenti. Hasn't delivered yet. Madden waiting patiently. Fastball upstairs. 2-0 count. Quinn Madden is the guy that always talks about playing for all the marbles. A lot on the line right here. Not an elimination game for Lynchburg. It is for Misericordia. The 2-0. Madden will not offer, and that's ball 3. Sean Pokerock waits on deck. He is more than capable. A stud in every sense of the word and a proven postseason performer. 3-0. Green light for Madden. Let's see. Open stance, high hands. Here's the pitch. Did not swing on a middle fastball. I think it was a red light situation, but it will be bright green now with a 3-1 count. Hornets looking for a hero. 1, to continue the game. 2, to win the game and book a spot in the championship series. Madden was on the 3-1, but yanked it foul, and now it's a full count. Volume is up here in East Lake. It might be that time. It might be time for some heroics. It's never easy. Never easy on the pitcher. In this case, that's left-hander Joe Valenti. Already with 1 win in this tournament. Started Friday against Pomona Pitzer. Checks the runner, now fires. Upstairs, ball 4. Nice at bat from Quinn Madden. Nice at bat right there. Didn't try to do too much. Yes, you want to get the ball elevated. You want to try to end the game with 1 swing. That's a natural thought. And Madden's a home run hitter after all. Why wouldn't he be thinking that? So a nice job to have the discipline, not swing at any bad pitches, and take the walk. And now Lynchburg is applying more pressure. They've got the winning run at first base. Tying run is at second. Does put the double play back in order for the Cougars defense. First pitch to Sean Pokerock. Here it is. Off speed. Sean Pokerock studies, and he'll hit out of an 0-1 hole here with one out. Runners on first and second. If you're Sean Pokerock, you would love to stay out of the double play. But with these good pitchers, sometimes you can't be so choosy. Hitters will tell you that. Sometimes when these guys are tough, you just got to get a good swing off. You just got to try to hit the ball hard. On the ground, on the line, or in the air. Let me just put a good move and get the barrel on something. Valenti, the 0-1. Top rail fastball for a called strike. Sean Pokerock is down 0-2. Lynchburg is down to its final 2 outs. Gavin Collins waiting on deck. All 200 hits of Gavin Collins waiting on deck. No, it's a pinch hitter. Actually, it's Riley O'Donovan that will hit for Josh Jorman. I beg your pardon. Pokerock staying alive, flare and 1 foul. Yeah, that was Eric Hyatt's spot, the 5th spot in the order. Josh Jorman got the 1 at bat. That was the successful squeeze bunt that got overruled. They said Jorman was out of the baseline. So it will be Riley O'Donovan on deck. Another 0-2 to Sean Pokerock, waiting. Here it comes. Tapped foul. Got it off the end of the bat, but just got enough to stay alive. Good speed at second with Ben Jones. He represents the tying run. Good wheels at first with Quinn Madden. Got to try to be really aggressive here as a base runner. Make sure you're active with your secondary lead so you can beat out a potential double play. You can't get picked off, though. Can't do anything silly here as a base runner. Another 0-2 from Valenti. Pokerock will lay off a pitch that was in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's all happening again. Lynchburg has some walk-off wins this season. On the road at Case Western Reserve, at home against Mary Washington, 2 most recent ones. Here comes the 1-2 from Valenti. Breaking ball down, ball 2. Sean Pokerock with a monster day to start this tournament on Friday. He did not play in the second game against Misericordia. That's by design. Riley O'Donovan does the catching usually in game 2 of a tournament. Called strike 3. Sean Pokerock frozen on an inside fastball. Nice one there from Valenti, and now Lynchburg is down to their final out. The pinch hitter will be a guy we just mentioned, Riley O'Donovan. And Riley can be the hero. Riley O'Donovan has some postseason exploits to remember. His sophomore year. Dealt with some injury issues last season. Riley O'Donovan has had an outstanding career as a Hornet. It won't come to an end in this game. If Lynchburg wins, they get at least 2 more. If Lynchburg loses, they get the if necessary game. The 0-0 to O'Donovan. Breaking ball, strike 1. Got to look at the shape of it there from Joe Valenti. That can help you as a hitter sometime. 2 on, 2 out. Tying run is Ben Jones at second. Winning run is Quinn Madden at first. Here's the 0-1 to Riley O'Donovan. Breaking ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lynchburg has not lost in a dozen games. Undefeated in the month of May and June. They beat Misericordia on Saturday. Cougars trying to return the favor and force the if necessary. 1-1. Nearly hit Riley O'Donovan. Almost grazed the front left thigh. It's a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Still some pressure all the way around. As a Misericordia fielder, you have to expect some action right here. Want the ball hit to you is the phrase. If you're Lynchburg, you want the bat in your hands right now if you're Riley O'Donovan. He's ready on a 2-1. Just south of the zone there. Very good pitch from Valenti. Zones are tightening up again. Playoff strike zones seem to be a little bit smaller. And don't think that umpires aren't influenced by some of that pressure as well. O'Donovan. Good hitter's count right here. The pitch. O'Donovan slashes it foul, and now it's a full count. Runners will be on the move for Lynchburg. That helps your cause. It would help Ben Jones score the tying run on a base hit. It would help Quinn Madden potentially go first to third. And if Riley O'Donovan could get something elevated in the outfield, Quinn Madden with his wheels would be a threat to score on perhaps a double. Payoff delivery coming from Joe Valenti. Riley O'Donovan waiting on it. Longer wait right here. The pitch. O'Donovan hard to the second baseman. Bobbled slightly. He'll recapture, throw to first, and that is the final out of the ball game. Lynchburg has tasted defeat for the first time in the postseason. Lynchburg falls 3-2. The Misericordia Cougars win it. They force that if-necessary game scheduled for 4:45 p.m. I think that schedule will be adjusted, baseball fans. So we'll update you on the social media. We'll update you on the lynchburgsports.com website. And, of course, the NCAA has got all their things going on as well. All is not lost for Lynchburg. That's why you do the hard work in those first two games of the tournament. You get the victories there, so you do have the cushion. Lynchburg has played one less game than the Cougars, so perhaps their pitching will be more intact for what will be an if-necessary game. On the bracket, it's game 13 of the tournament. It will be game 4 for Lynchburg. It will be game 5 for Misericordia. Plenty of folks to talk about from these two games. Ben Jones with a 4-hit performance. He was in scoring position as the tying run, but Lynchburg could not get him home. Hornets score 2 runs on 13 hits. Great pitching from Misericordia, especially when it counted the most. The Cougars got out of some tough spots. Lynchburg did that some as well. Hornets jumped out to the 2-0 lead, but Lynchburg did not score any after that third inning. A late push from Misericordia, 1 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, gets them tied and then gets them in the driver's seat. And now we go to the if-necessary game. Could be seeing Logan Tapman start on the mound for Lynchburg. We'll wait and find out. Can't wait to talk to you more, baseball fans. I know Lynchburg fans did not want to see their team lose, but we get more baseball and perhaps more drama and more of a storybook ending for Lynchburg. Sometimes the biggest things happen when you're pushed completely to the limit. Well, both of these teams are at the brink right now. Season will be on the line for Misericordia and Lynchburg when they meet up again here in a couple hours. It's Salve Regina and Wisconsin Whitewater taking center stage, and we'll update you on the progress of that game when we come back. We'll see you in about 3 or 4 hours. Stay tuned for all the updates, and we'll say so long for this game. It was definitely a fun one. It did not go Lynchburg's way, but again, the Hornets have more chances, at least one more game to watch this Lynchburg Vibes train roll, and I still think very dangerous. We'll find out what happens. Does the season end here, or do we continue to the championship series? That'll be coming up. It's a final here as Misericordia beats Lynchburg 3-2. Lynchburg now in the season 37-16. They've still won 12 of their last 13, but the uninterrupted run of a dozen postseason games, a dozen postseason wins in a row has come to a close. Misericordia is 41-10. They're now 12-1 in the postseason. The lone loss coming to Lynchburg on Saturday. Everything to play for in the if-necessary game. We'll talk to you in a little bit, baseball fans. Thanks for listening to the NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball Tournament D3 World Series on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Our action all day and all week brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. Visit MIOScareers.com to learn more.